Okay. Thank you. We will now have a welcome from Unit 129, Cindy Jordan.
Welcome everyone. So glad to see you this morning. I hope you enjoyed our little light breakfast prepared by our kitchen chef this morning. I just y'all know my husband. We want to make sure that you're all welcome. He always wants to make sure everyone has enough to eat. And thank you for being here. I'm hoping we're going to have a wonderful session. And some of our members are here that are new to our class. So I hope they're going to get excited about taking shares with our story. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. On behalf of the district assembled, we would like to say thank you to Unit 129 for their warm and gracious hospitality. I would now like to introduce our distinguished guests, district officers, and chairmen. When I say your name, if you could please stand and raise your hand so everybody knows who you are. We do have a lot of new faces, a lot of new members here today, so happy about that. Welcome, everyone. So we have our department chaplain, Karen Marks. Past department historian, past fifth district president, and parliamentarian, Annie Anderson. And acting secretary for today. Department AEF chairman, Kathy Humley. Department community service chairman and fifth district community service chairman, Robin Walker.
Yes. You said Walker.
Oh, did I say? I thought I said Robin Walters. Well,
It's okay.
Robin Walters. Okay. Department Public Relations and Fifth District Public Relations Chairman, Myrna Luke. Past Fifth District President and District National Security Chairman, Nancy Chandler. Past Fifth District President and Fifth District Past President Parley Chairman, Robin Walker. District Chaplain, Latoya Desperez. District Historian, Angie Adams. District Sergeant at Arms, Ginger Halsey. Americanism Chairman, Connie Coombs. AEF Chairman, Bridget Green. Children and Youth Chairman, Sherry Horn. Education Chairman, Kelly Rickerman. Girls State Chairman, Candace Mabry. Junior Activity Chairman, Sue Reynolds. Membership Chairman, Roberta Tucker. Hockey Chairman, Judy Moody. VA&R Chairman, Sandy Cass. And our Honorary Department Junior Historian, Kylie Edwards. Secretary will now call the roll of the units. Please answer one for the president if they are present, the number of senior members, and the number of junior members present.
Unit 9.
110.
Unit 54.
160.
Unit 88.
130.
Unit 129. I know.
It's really 18 and 1.
Okay.
No, 19. We got more.
Miss Cindy.
Just have to count that.
Okay.
Just count.
I'll do 1 and 1 for sure. Okay. 137. 194.
050 and 1.
And 1 yes? Oh, 1 junior.
And 6, just 6.
Oh, there's 6.
0, 6, 1.
1.
And again.
And a yes. 197. 202.
150.
233.
130.
244. Unit 244. Unit 250.
120.
Unit 283.
150.
Oh, 316 and 01. Liz is not here. 372. 373.
100.
Unit 401. Madam President, this concludes your roll call.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our chairman presentations. We will stop for a break and stop for lunch as we see fit. If you need to use the restrooms or our restrooms right through the doorway here, just ask that you try not to leave in the middle of a presentation if possible. So we're going to go ahead and start with Parliamentarian, and then it'll be Past President's Parley, and then Americanism are the first three.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. As you noticed last meeting at 3:16 when we had our first district meeting, I made a comment about, if you are introduced, to stand up and raise your hand. Because there are so many new members that really do not know who those chairmen are within the district. And I was questioned about it afterwards. So I researched it. Yes, it is etiquette. It's not a rule anywhere. I didn't find it in Robert's rules yet, but as you know, that book is whatever. Yes, it is etiquette. If you are introduced or you are introducing yourself, you stand up and you acknowledge who you are. But when you are introducing yourself, you announce who you are. Your name, and if you have a title, the title, especially, I would say myself, I'm Annie Anderson, Unit 316, District Parliamentarian. That's the way I would introduce myself. Now, as parliamentarian, she is appointed, or he is appointed by the unit president, district president, the parliament president. They are not elected. And a parliamentarian does not speak unless she is asked a question about procedures. And she also works with the president together for the agenda and all of that. But she is basically silent. And if you have an active parliamentarian, most of the time the parliamentarian sits to the right side of the president. Because if something happens, she can confer with her over here instead of yelling across the room. And those are really procedures. And they're seen, but not heard. They cannot make motions. They cannot offer motions, nothing like that. That's what is the parliamentarian. Now, she holds the chairmanship on top of that. She can only talk about that chairmanship, about nothing else. And if you have questions to the parliamentarian, the best thing to do is wait until the meeting is over. And the nicest thing about all of this is Robert's Rules of Order. They've got a great book, which is a Robert's Rules of Order for dummies. And I'm telling you, that really, really works. So that's basically what a parliamentarian does. They're seen, but not heard. But you heard me today. Thank you.
Any questions for our parliamentarian?
Sorry.
I think we're good. All right, thank you. Next up, Past President's Parley, Robin Walker.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thanks. So nice to see so many smiling faces and new faces. How many past unit presidents are there in the room? Wow. Nice. Okay. How many past district presidents are in the room? Okay. Our past department president not here today. Okay. All of you that are past presidents, you are now members of PPP, Past Presidents Parley. What is Past Presidents Parley? Well, the purpose of it is to utilize the expertise and knowledge of past auxiliary leaders that served in unit, area, district, department, and/or national levels for training and encouragement of future auxiliary members. This gives the past leaders the opportunity to continue an active service in the American Legion Auxiliary. What are their responsibilities? They'll lead the way by providing each member the encouragement to secure our foundation and build a stronger future. We need to continue mentoring our new members, supporting each other, teaching the importance of mentoring, share knowledge, and teaching moments with one another. What's the purpose of our mentoring? Is to facilitate the personal and professional growth of individuals by providing guidance, support, and knowledge transferred from experienced mentors to mentees. As mentors, we will continue to promote our knowledge and experience in teaching and spreading the word of the works of the American Legion Auxiliary, its mission, programs, and support of our veterans. What does a mentor do? They encourage, coach, spread their knowledge, are enthusiastic and compassionate and trustworthy. In seeking a mentor, choose someone you look up to, can work well with, someone who can guide you towards your goals, someone who appreciates your interest in learning, and who makes a difference in your life. How do we mentor? If it's a new member, take them under your wing, introduce them to everybody, show them the chairs, the programs, where the leadership courses are, etc. Just a few examples. The awards for PPP, this year there's a new mentoring award. The past department presidents came together at convention and recognized the importance of mentoring within the auxiliary. This will be awarded annually at the Department of Florida Convention to the Florida Auxiliary member in good standing who has made contributions through teaching, sharing knowledge, and providing guidance for the current auxiliary year. Please refer to the ALAFL.org programs for more details. There's also a member citation. Every member that hosts an activity or training that educates their members on how to find and train using and promoting auxiliary resources and learning materials, and there's a form for that. PPP Chairman, outstanding implementation of a mentoring program. A citation will be given to the auxiliary member that completes that program. Okay. I want you all to know some things about each and every one of you that are in this room. Thank you for listening, for guidance, for inspiration, for encouragement, and for being here. You have made a profound difference in our organization, every one of you. Thank you, you rock, and you make a difference. May you be proud of the work you do, the person you are, and the difference you make. You're amazing. Never forget the difference you've made. Thank you for being awesome. Sometimes you forget you're awesome, so this is a reminder. We're so grateful for each and every one of you as members of our wonderful organization. Thank you for all that you do. And I just want, I have some suggestions on how you can work your program. These are just suggestions. Within your unit, you could get the past presidents together and work as a project such as, I'm sure you all have drawers of these. This isn't isn't all, but this is many of our past department president pins. So wouldn't that be nice to put it together in a shadow box and have that somewhere in your auxiliary? Just a suggestion. I'm going to do that. Have the PPPs establish a book with all the past unit presidents with names and the year that they served. I know some units do have that, and it goes along with the historian as well. But just an idea of something that the past unit presidents can do as a project. And try to utilize the past presidents, whether it be unit, district, area, department, or national. They do have valuable information to share with all the members. And in conclusion, I want to leave you with this quote. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. That's Benjamin Franklin. Thank you, ladies. I'm sorry, one more thing. I do have a co-chair. Tanya, where are you? Thank you for passing things out for me today, and I'm enjoying working with her, and I'm mentoring her. So here we go with the mentoring and the PPP. Thank you, ladies.
Any questions for past President Parley? Americanism, County.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I honestly don't need this thing. I will use it. I want to start today by going over some of the, my first year last year as Americanism Chair was a lot of fun. It was a lot of learning for me. It was a huge learning curve. And one of the things that I wanted to comment on immediately is the fact that we have these essay contests. So you're going to have a piece of paper in your file here on the pool table. And it's the awards, which are national awards. It's the Americanism Essay Contest. Last year we submitted, believe it or not, the total was 75 essays.
Wow.
Pretty amazing, right? Miss Karen Marks, what did you do? You submitted 67 of those. I was just flabbergasted. I'm thinking, this is amazing. So we're gonna take some notes from you. I know that you work a lot with the schools, and that's amazing. So thank you, and I hope. I want to see who wins this year, and honestly know more about this. But this is really cool. So you will have that. It gives you all the guidelines for your essays, the age groups and the word requirements and all of that. So this is really a great learning experience for everyone involved. There's also the Doors Econ Trophy. It's the best all-around award for Americanism activities. They won it on an 8.5 by 11-inch paper, double-spaced. And I can give you all of this as well. And all of this is also online. So if you don't know where the Americanism button is on your computer, make it a favorite. And it tells you where to submit it to and the date. There is also the Chairman's Award for America the Beautiful Award. And that's actually the theme this year is, hold on, what America the Beautiful means to me. That is our theme. And the award will be presented to the unit that submits the best picture of the American flag that's being displayed. Pictures may be submitted throughout the year with the unit name, location of the picture, and one sentence caption. And, just if you can do this, make sure that you submit it online under that Americanism button. And those are the main things that I wanted to go over with respect to the Americanism program this year. And then for my board over here, I wanted to focus on the eagle. And as you can tell on our flags behind us, they're a huge symbol for the United States of America. And it's the bald eagle. It's been the national bird of the United States since 1782. And one of the things that we had talked about, Julie and I, was the funny fact that I thought it was a myth, but Benjamin Franklin, speaking of, he wrote a letter to a friend and said, I wish the bald eagle had not been chosen as the representative of our country. He is a bird of bad moral character. Like those among men who live by sharping and robbing, he is generally poor, often very lousy. The turkey is a much more respectable bird. And with all the true original native of America, and I can agree with that. But not all of Congress shared Franklin's sentiments. And I thought about that. I thought, you know what? In our units, we're all different. We're all different people. We come from all different backgrounds. And we make the unit. We are what is the unit. And so what did they do? Congress said, you know what? Ben, bald eagles, like other eagles worldwide, have been seen by many as symbols of strength and courage, freedom, immortality for generations. And unlike other eagles, the bald eagle was indigenous only to North America. So I just thought that, you know, we as our units, as we come together, let's appreciate each other's differences. Let's learn to get along, and let's move forward. Thank you.
Any questions for Americanism? All right, thank you, Connie. Next up is AEF, and then we'll have Chaplain and Children and Youth. Light the way, light the way.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, ladies. All right. Again, good morning. I am Bridget Green, Unit 194, your AEF chairman. And AEF stands for?
Emergency Fund.
Okay, you guys come on up here and help me. All right. AEF, the Auxiliary Emergency Fund, was established in 1969 from, of course, an auxiliary member. Her name was Helen Colby Shaw, and she resided in Burlington, Wisconsin, and it has been going for over 5 decades. It's still strong, and we will build upon the foundation. Now, basically, I'm just going to talk to you about how to navigate and find the program, get your information. So, you would go to alafl.org, and from there you will see that there are 2 types of funding for AEF. And AEF is for, it's an auxiliary program, but it's a statewide program for members helping members. All right? There's a hardship grant that you can get, or a disaster relief grant that you can get. So, from the website you'll see there's an application tab. One is for national AEF application, and that directs you to the national page. Then there's a department disaster relief application, and there's an AEF application for hardships. You also have plans and reports. There's a 2024-2025 program engagement plan, unit year-end reporting, and district year-end reporting. And then there's a link, which that link just takes you back to the membership page. All right. There are levels of requesting assistance: unit, department, and national. And if your unit does not have a AEF program, I encourage you to start one. Talk with your membership at your next meeting and start a program. And basically, it's you start the program, you maybe do fundraisers. I know some units maybe collect money at each meeting, $1, $2, you know, whatever you guys decide to do. But that money is targeted or earmarked for AEF and can only be spent for AEF purposes. All right. Requesting funding from your unit. I would suggest to have an application process, and if you don't, just go through national or department. You can mirror whatever their application states. The AEF hardship assistance, it's a grant, and it provides temporary assistance to eligible members during a time of financial crisis when no other source of aid is readily available to pay for shelter, basic household utilities, and or loss of income. Grants may be awarded up to $1,200 with the intent to help members who have suffered a financial setback. Again, it's members helping members. Funding will not be granted to pay for any expenses other than shelter, basic household utilities, and loss of income. And one grant is awarded rather, in a 12-month period. Okay. And the criteria, the member has to be a member for the current year, dues paid, and the 2 prior years. So you can't have like a miss where you didn't pay your dues for 1 year, but you came back. So it's like 3 consecutive years. All right. So that the application doesn't get delayed. Make sure you have all your receipts, all documentation that's needed for the funding that you're requesting for. Dot all the I's, cross all the T's, so it can be expedited on time. Now, if you have this, you can use it for, say, a disconnection, eviction, like I say, loss of income. Now, there is an expedited application for disaster. Members in areas devastated by a natural disaster, and of course, we live in Florida, so we do have those. And I mean, across the country, there's other disasters. So it's fires, flood, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and any severe weather. The application must be received, I think it's 6 months prior to your disaster or event, and you can be awarded up to $3,000, and that's from national. Okay. Now, I'm sorry.
6 months prior to?
I'm sorry, 6 months after.
Okay.
Okay. 6 months after. Yeah. Sorry. You caught that, okay? Y'all vote.
You're testing them. Testing them.
I know, right? Yes, 6 months after the event, you need to submit the application. All right. And again, national and department requires that you only send in 1 application for the 12-month period. Now, reporting. There is, where I have my reporting? Okay, so you have the 2024-2025 program engagement plan. And it tells you what's covered, not covered, ways to fundraise and engage members. The department chairman is asking all members to make it fun while raising funds for the program. So here's a message from our department chairman, Captain Hemley. So I'm throwing out a challenge. I want every unit to make a house to be used as a bank. Of course, we know we're building a foundation for our organization, and she's asking every member to build a house and use it as a bank. The house size can be no larger than 12 by 12 by 17. Construction materials are your choice. The more fun your house is, the more it will be used. Take your bank with you and collect those funds and fill your bank. Once your bank is made, post it on the AEF Facebook page. Everybody knows AEF has a Facebook page, correct? All right? Join. Again, she said, I want to see those pages filled up with your amazing banks and keep it fun. Now there are awards for your program. There's a national award and All AEF awards are determined by reports generated by the national headquarters on donations received from departments and units from June 1st through May 31st. The unit award is a citation, and units contributing the largest donation amount by grouping and reported on the unit year-end report to department chairman by April 15, 2025. There's a chairman award. All right. The unit with the most creative way of training and collecting AEF funds. Now, year-end reporting is AEF, the 2024-25, is due to the district chairman by April 1st, 2025. The district year-end report is due to department chairman by April 15th, 2025. And again, AEF is members helping members, units helping units, and districts helping districts. While building our house on a strong foundation, we must always look out for our fellow members. Our foundation must be secure for our members in case of an emergency. Remember, together we build. Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Did you say your name was, ma'am?
I'm sorry. Bridget Green, Unit 194. I also have cards over there that you guys can take with my information on there as the district chairman and the department chairmans, and information for the website. So if you want to go over to our board, you can see it. And I believe that is it. Hello.
Hi, can I have the dimensions of the house again, please?
12 by 12 by 17.
Thank you.
And also, all of this information is on the website.
Is that in inches or feet?
No, we're gonna build a big house that all of us can go visit.
She's got big ambitions, yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions? And I believe our district president has some information for us.
So I know AEF is a lot, and she gave you a lot of information. So if you ever find yourself in a crisis where you need help, reach out to your unit. If your unit can't help you, reach out to Bridget or myself, and we will help you. It's a lot of paperwork, but we are here for you. So if you ever need that, please ask for help. And on that, I have been talking with Kathy, who was the department AEF chairman, and as you know, District 3, which is their neighbor us, was hit by Hurricane Debbie. And I will be sending out to the unit presidents some information. Kathy has asked if we are willing to help get supplies for those affected. I still think that there are members of our Legion family who do not have power, that their homes were flooded, so they have been hit. So I will be sending out information to the unit presidents, and if your unit is able to help, please reach out to myself, Bridget, or Kathy, and we'll be more than happy to help get those supplies so that Kathy can get those to District 3.
So will we be doing, like we did before, a district collection?
Yes.
A district collection for District 3?
Okay.
And will we give her a list of supplies?
Yes.
And Verna asked, just so you are aware, Kathy has talked to Department President Charlotte Bass about this, and the 3rd District President Rhoda Barber does know about this, so they are aware, and they have asked for help, and that's why we are helping. So, and if you have any questions about that, see myself or Kathy after the meeting. Any other questions for Bridget?
Good job.
Our chaplain, Latoya, is up next.
Hey guys, I'm bringing up the board because the board takes work. So you are going to appreciate the board. So basically, generally, you know what a chaplain does. Essentially, you are the spiritual guide and should be the spiritual guide for your unit. There can be a lot of animosity, a lot of emotions, opinions. We are strong-minded women, and sometimes it needs to be pulled back. Your sergeant at arms is one person, and I would like to encourage you chaplains to step into what you are, an encourager, a person who is supposed to keep resolve, calm, serenity, don't let the small stuff sweat you, things like that, and to help other people, basically to de-escalate and de-stress. So that should be your main focus. Is the energy in the room right? And if not, how can you correct that? And if you feel you don't have that type of aura or passion, then maybe look into other positions. It's okay not to be great at everything, but when I like to say hone into what your strengths are, because I'm not the same as the next person who may have the availability to do another position. You might. So chaplain for me, which is a God-given, I never expected it to happen, but it just happens the way God wants it to happen. And I do feel that I'm of an older spirit, despite my appearance, but I do feel that I am the person for the job, and I feel very blessed to be here for the second time. So to get into my board, as I said, it's about spiritual upliftment, and I'm engaged. It says, lift me up, and it's a little tab. And this time I put, last year we were ringing bells, but we're building the house now. So it says, remember, building the house starts with you. Build the way you think about yourself. Are you proud of you? Have you expressed love to yourself today? Do that a lot more. How you talk to yourself carries a lot of weight. You speak it into existence. You speak positivity into your life. You are specially made and wonderfully created by God. You being here speaks to how amazing and important you are, how you individually create an impact. Continue to remind yourself to build you. That builds the house. May you be blessed and have a fulfilling year. And I love you, sis. So, love first. So getting into what the chaplain can do now with that, with your position, most likely you are going to have other members who may get sick, have life happen. You've already, unfortunately, had some sisters pass for the year before we even gotten started. Your job, hopefully, is to have a contact for that person, which you will receive when you're deceased form. You guys have seen the forms, but if you haven't, there is a deceased form that goes out to myself, and it also goes out to the department chaplain, which is Karen Marks, who's here today. And it is to keep track not only to update the system for family, for our family members, for their units, but also for us to try to send a loving word out if there is a contact. There isn't always a contact, but essentially you want to try to keep it with that. So if you are a president or new to being a president, if you didn't know, your chaplain does need a roster. It's not only important to be able to help them reach out to others. Sometimes you can't drop to individuals, but it's also important for us to get those addresses, and then birthdays. That would be great, so you can send out some birthday cards. What I suggest with that is doing a budget, if your unit does do a budget at the beginning of the year, to allot some money for your chaplain to be able to get cards, or sometimes your unit can pull together. A lot of you have fundraisers that have extra funds. Do a side fundraiser, add it as a bonus poker ticket if people bring in, birthday or holiday cards and different things, where you can help your chaplain build that or reimburse them at the end of the year for those things. Let's see. Some of the things that you may be asked to do is go out into the community for different events. You may be asked to do a memorial service for someone outside of the auxiliary. We do have a drinking of the charter ceremony that we like to do within our units when someone does pass. So if you do have a chaplain who may not be present, or if you're one of those chaplains, some of our chaplains are a little older. Some of my presidents are good at letting you know and trying to step in for their chaplain. Others, if you notice your chaplain is probably not going to be around, just give me like a point person to go to or fill in for them, because it's getting older in age, and that's why we're trying to build the house and build it with membership, so that you guys can help be the mentors for this next generation that's supposed to take over for you, so we can continue to have an auxiliary. Let's see. One of the great things that a lot of people don't know is with the chaplains, we have a few resources. So besides the prayer book, me personally, I like to speak from the heart, so I do tend to write a lot of my prayers. But it is encouraged, and it is a question that tends to pop up on our sheets at the end of the year if we are using the other resources or even know about them. So for instance, you get a quarterly magazine, the auxiliary magazine. Our national chaplain is Brister Thomas, of course, department chaplain is Karen Marks, and then it goes down district myself. In there is a page called Impact or Reflections. It has a inspirational article, it has prayer in there the National Chaplain leads, those are resources we can pull to actually get prayers from. If you're a person that struggles with prayer, you can pull your prayers from there or your prayer book. Obviously, the internet is a big thing as well if you need more inspiration, but you definitely want to make sure you tap into those resources, the auxiliary magazine, and you want to make sure you're tapping into your chaplain prayer book too, and to get familiar with some of the other ceremonies that may come up for events. There's a 4 chaplain ceremony that would be besides DCC when we do a memorial service. 4 chaplains is something I don't want to get into now, because obviously you want to talk about a 4 chaplain. There may not be a ceremony with the Legion this year. We may be going in a different direction, but I do know some of you do tend to traditionally have 4 chaplains event. If you do, I just ask that you can get with me so that I can get involved and not just involved, but try to involve the other chaplains too, because it is to highlight what chaplains can do, what they have done, what they sacrifice and die for as well in the spiritual faith of we don't care what we are denominationally, right? We just care about coming together, bonding, and doing the best that we can to keep that spirit running in someone else. Without spirit, I don't care how hard or how much you're pushing. If you don't believe in it, if your heart's not there, it's a sinking ship. So, what else should I say? Yes, other things would be essentially the chaplain, as you notice, will open and close with prayer. Again, encouraging you to get confident, practice at home in the mirror, and building a house. And then one other thing that I want to talk about that's not on there. I don't know if a lot of you know what this is or what it's called, but it's something that chaplains also have access to. It's a great conversation opener or breaker to let somebody know about the auxiliary that you are a chaplain. It's called a grace card. And essentially it is to remind people of exactly what that is. Get people back into for God and country. Not just the country, not just the fight, but the spirit as well. It is very important. So it reminds them, and it has a few different faiths on here, Jewish, Protestant, Roman Catholic, just a few little words to remind them, get back into doing it before you eat again, and reminding, you know what, I got food to eat. Someone else does it. Getting back into being thankful when you walk into the house because you have a house to walk into and somewhere to live. You'd be surprised. Being thankful for having a car, being thankful for wearing clothes right now. It is essential to get back to the root of the basics of our spirit so that we can have enough love and push out the aura to those who may be struggling. You'd be surprised what that smile or that hug can do for someone. I've had literally random strangers come up to me or someone I knew that I didn't even know, something told me to give them $20 and it said, you know, you have no idea that was like my last meal for this week, what that $20 did to me. You have no idea what that smile did to me today. I found out that my parent died and I really needed a hug and didn't know how to talk to somebody. So I encourage all of you, even if you're not a chaplain, if you see someone just looking like they're down, if something is calling you in your spirit to speak up to somebody or just give them a hug, please do if they allow you access to, because I promise you there's a lot more going under the surface, there's a lot more going underneath those smiles and the I'm okay, we're not okay. But we do what we can every day. So that is my presentation. And if you guys have any questions, of course all the forms and things you need are on the ALA website. I do have packets for each of you to give to your unit chaplains should they need it, but I'm sure we won't have any problem out me reaching out to them as well.
Great job.
Any questions for in the package she talked about, just to let you know, unit presidents, there's a number up here, so at the end of the day before you leave, unit presidents only take the packets. They have all the information for your chairman, take it back to your unit, distribute it to the respective chairman to help with that. So again, those not for everybody, those are for the unit president. Up next, let me go back to my cheat sheet here. Children and youth, and then it'll be community service, and then education. Well, Sherry's coming up here. You're hearing a lot. ALAFL, ALAFL.org. That is the website that you will access the most. It has a plethora of information on it, your programs, Friday reports for membership, all sorts of information. So please feel free to take a look at that website at your leisure. And no microphone.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
My name is Mary Horn. I'm from Unit 88, and I am your District Children and Youth Chairman. I also was that child that waited until the night before to tell my mother that I had a presentation the next day. Thus my charcoal. The purpose of the Children and Youth is to work collaboratively with the American Legion to promote programs that protect, care for, and support children and youth, especially those of our military and veterans. Excuse me. Some of the key elements of our program: to recognize and reward the positive actions of our children and youth. We have Kids of Deployed, our Heroes 2. We want to remind them of that. Some examples of what we can do: wear purple April 15th in honor of our children and youth. Perform military child table ceremonies. Contact your local churches, homeless shelters, food pantries to identify homeless veterans' children. I've found with the schools it's a little bit harder to get information, obviously because of privacy issues, but local churches will let you know if they have members that are homeless, what they're in need of. That's a great resource. You know, reach out also to your local police departments. You wouldn't think of doing that, but your local police departments, they're familiar with the homeless. They're familiar with the homeless that have children. So definitely, you know, reach out to those areas. Plan a special celebration for children during the month of April in honor of the Children and Youth Month. Host a dinner. You know, have a game night, have a community fair, you know, host a fall fest, host an Easter egg hunt. You know, something that involves, you know, gets the children in your area involved. I know our post is in a, you know, a lower income area, and, you know, a lot of these kids, they don't get Easter baskets. They don't get, you know, to carve a pumpkin. You know, these are little things that to us as adults, we, you know, forget how much fun it was. I don't personally. I ask my mom every year for an Easter basket. She still has yet to send me one. Some of the other things that children, you know, with the children and youth, this is one that's very close to my heart, Camp Body Creek. We went there in May of this year to deliver supplies, collect. Here you are. I've been looking for you. We collected quilts, afghans, body creek bears. A special shout out to Karen Marks for contacting your local mom and pop shop to have them. They made how many? 68 bears. 68 body creek bears. The body creek bears, for us that don't sew, and even for us that do sew, they are very difficult. Yes. She sewed. I sewed for the very first time. I shocked myself. I shocked my mother-in-law. Let's just say that. And this woman quilts like you wouldn't believe. And my husband always wants me, you know, to sew a button on. I'm like, take it to your mother. But anyway, the, you know, Body Creek bears. We delivered the 68 Body Creek bears. We delivered so many quilts and afghans. We delivered sheets. They needed sheets. I have not been in touch with Chaplain yet to find out exactly what they're in need of this year, but they are always in need of the Body Creek bears. They're always in need of quilts, afghans, washcloths, sheets. Now, if you are going to get twin-size sheets, just so you know, make sure they're colorful. They don't want white. White reminds these children of being in the hospital. That's the last thing we want these kids to think about when they're at camp, okay? I should have probably started out with this, but I'm a little nervous. I'm not shaking this year though, Connie, so I'm feeling really good. So, if anybody's not familiar with Camp Body Creek, is anybody not familiar with what Camp Body Creek does? Okay, Camp Body Creek brings children together that have the same illness. So within a week, it could be a child that had cancer, okay? That week, that child that had that type of cancer, all the children that will be there would have had that same type of cancer or are suffering from that same type of cancer with them. It gives them an outlet. They don't feel isolated. They don't feel like they're different. They feel included. And it is one of the most beautiful camps I've ever been to. I was privileged and honored to be able to go there and tour. They are now starting to reach out in other areas. They were going to hold a week of for any child that has lost a sibling, a grandparent, a parent. So they're reaching out in other areas. But Camp Boggy Creek needs help to stay running. So, anybody heard of Paul Newman? What about General Schwarzkopf? Well, I had no idea that they were the ones that were involved in opening this camp and contributing to this camp. There's several others. Unfortunately, I cannot remember everybody's names. Those are the two main ones that I can remember. If you go out and you buy Newman's dressing, anything Newman's, they get a portion of that goes to Camp Boggy Creek. Not every month, but they do get proceeds from that, just so you know. So if you think that you have not done something for children and you have if you bought Newman's. Okay? Lisa Whalen, who is our department children and youth this year, would like the units to focus on Month of the Military Child Proclamation Award. So it's a certificate to each unit participating in Children and Youth Month by completing a month of the military proclamation. Unfortunately, on ALAFL.org, there's not a lot of information as to how you apply for this, okay? However, in speaking to Robin Walker, she's helped me out on this, I will be sending out to each unit president the instructions as to how you apply for this. But this is something that Lisa Hoyland has asked for us to really push this year for each unit to apply for this and do this, okay? Year-end reporting. Unit year-end reports are due to me by April 1st, 2025. Mine is due April 15th, 2025 to department. I was a little disappointed last year. I only got about 7 reports. It was my first year as District Children and Youth Chairman, so I was not pushy. I'm going to be pushy this year. I'm going to email you. I'm going to call you. I'm going to text you. You did something for children and youth. Did you gather school supplies? Somebody did something for a child. Put it in the report. Send it to me. Okay? That's it. That is it for me. Does anybody have any questions?
Where is the Camp Boggy Creek located?
Eustis? Yes. Ooh, I try to remember that. Eustis, Florida. We will be planning a visit. I'm going to shoot for May again of next year. When I get the date, I will throw it out there. So, you can I want you to come experience it. I would love that. Karen.
Do you want to schedule it for May or before so they can put it in their report?
Oh, well, actually, that's a good idea. Let me think about it. Yeah, and let me check with Chaplain to see when would be a good time. Just so you know, it will be a Monday through Friday day, okay? So this is not something that we can do on the weekend. It is something that if you work, you will have to take the day off of work, to go there. I think it took us, maybe 5 hours?
Yeah.
We were there maybe 4, no, probably less than that. I think, maybe a couple hours.
We were there about 2 hours.
Yeah, we were there about 2 hours and was able to, tour the camp. And I mean, these are just a few of the pictures that I took that, but I mean, they have it fully, operating, emergency room. This is their cafeteria. Please come up and look at this board if you can, if you get a chance. This is where you walk into the theater where the kids, do plays. And this was the amount of stuff that was delivered from not only our district, but from a few other districts as well that showed up that day. There's so many stories that I can tell you that I don't want to take up anybody else's time, but show up, go there. It's dear to my heart. Aurora?
I have a question, ma'am. At Camp Bybee Creek, and they do have a website, so
Yes.
Please go to it. If, say, a unit wanted to possibly do something, what is the process to become a volunteer?
Yes. So, thank you. Great question. Should have put that in my presentation. But you got me. You got me. You can go to the Camp Bybee Creek website. There is a link to fill out a volunteer form. There's different levels to volunteering. So some you may have to go through an extensive background check. Others, it's not so extensive. You can plan an event. You can do it. You can hold an event at Camp Bybee Creek for a weekend. If you want to take a weekend and you want to go to Camp Bybee Creek and hold an event, maybe a fundraiser for that or something, you can do that. You just have to go to their website, fill out the forms, and as long as you're not a criminal, I think you're good. Yes.
On the website also is the pattern for the Balky Bears and
Yes.
a description of sizes for the Afghans and quilts.
Yes.
So they can do that, and if they can't go down there, maybe they can get together, so like we did.
Right, and that was another thing I wanted to say too, ladies, is if you know somebody who sews, have a sewing party. You just did something for children and youth. Have a sewing party. My mother-in-law held a sewing party for us. There was about 5 of us that went. Again, I'd never sewn in my entire life. This woman collects Singer sewing machines like you wouldn't believe. All had their own little antique Singer sewing machine. We sewed. We had mimosas. We had little sandwiches. It was a blast. Hold a sewing party. Hold Afghan. Crocheting, right? Hold a crocheting party. Do something. You've done something for children. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
And on that, I know Sherry and Karen talked about, try to see if we can get in before May. But keep in mind, if you are making bears or blankets or Afghans, that counts right now. That goes on your report. So it doesn't have to be that, they were delivered after the reporting cycle. They still count now when you're working on that. So make sure you're documenting that. Yeah. We're going to do a little switch, so if you can hold on. Liz Hill is the leadership chairman. She is not here, but Tanika Alexander is the co-chair, and she says she's prepared. She's going to come up and talk a little bit about leadership to you, so we're not completely skipping over leadership. She has to leave for another meeting, so I'm going to have Tanika come up and talk about leadership briefly for you guys.
For leadership, and the purpose for leadership is to raise awareness of ALA leadership development and opportunities. We also like to promote participation in the ALL Academy and other online courses. We try to also enhance knowledge about the ALL history, programs, and organizations. We also have awards, and we have a national award. The unit award is for the most outstanding unit leadership program per division. All entries for that have to be submitted by electronic form by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on June the 1st. Note, you will receive a confirmation when your award is submitted. You can go, if you do not know the website for that, it is www.legion aux.org/national, and then it's a little hash, awards, hash forms. And then also any unit applying for this award must, again, it has to be electronically, and it needs, you send the submission to Department Leadership Chairman, Ms. Liz, no later than Thursday, May 1st, 2025. And as she said earlier, basically we all know we gotta go to alafl.org, go to programs, leadership, and then program awards. Also, your unit reports must be submitted by April the 1st. The district, the department chairman has to have their paperwork in by April the 15th. So let's take in consideration, let's not wait till the last minute, so that we can make sure we get that support information in. Also, let me see. Make it some stuff here. I think that is mostly it of the information for leadership. If y'all have any questions, you can reach out to Ms. Liz. If not, you can reach out to me. Pick up your pen because I'm about to give you my telephone number. Okay, so it is 904-514-5766. So y'all can call me. If I don't know the information, I promise you I will get the information and get it to you as soon as possible. Just one thing I want to say about leadership. Some leaders are born and some are created. It is our job for those that are not born to create them. Okay?
All right.
Any questions?
Good job. All right, so, I want to give her a shout out.
Absolutely.
She reached out, she said, hey, I want to learn. She said, I'm interested in leadership, so I reached out to Liz. Liz was like, absolutely. So, thank you for stepping in today and helping out. Leadership is a big one. And we have 13 out of 16 units present today. That is a chunk of leadership. You show up to the unit meeting or district meetings, you show up to school of instruction, ABC schools. If you have presence in those fall under leadership. So make sure that you're documenting that and keeping that as part of your leadership. So everybody here in this room, every unit that showed up today, you have already done something for leadership. So again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Liz, Tanika, or myself. And I know she gave you her number, but she is on the district chairman sheet. And that has been sent out to the unit presidents. And I do have some extras up here. We'll talk about that later. So thank you.
Good job.
Next up, can we do a couple more and then take a break? You guys good for like one or two more and then we'll take a break?
Yes.
Okay. Community service, Robin Watrous.
Do you want me to bring your board?
We all know I have a big one.
Do you want me to bring your board?
Yeah. It'll just clutter my mind. As you said, I'm Robin Watrous. I'm with Unit 54 out in front of Unit Beach. When I was approached about being the community service chairman for her, that's a great idea since I'm going to do it for the department too. And when President Charlotte asked me to serve as community service chairman, I thought, wow, that's a great idea because I'd like to find a way to redefine this program a little bit because I've been a member for 20 years and I always kind of looked at the community service program as a dumping ground. It's when you couldn't figure out where something that you did fit into a program, you dumped it into community service. Well, when she announced that her program was going to be building a house, I said, oh no, community service, we're going to build a bridge. Because that's what we should be doing with the community service program. We should be building the bridges to the other programs that we're working in our unit. Our job as community service chairman are to work with the other program chairmen to make sure they're getting what they need for their report, we get what we need for our report, and that we are helping the community, our children, our youth, our veterans, to the most efficient bridge to the other family members. We're gonna reach out to the Legion, we're gonna reach out to the Sons of the American Legion, we're gonna reach out to the American Legion Riders and help them to help us work our programs effectively and efficiently. Because I promise you, there is no program that we don't touch that can't fit into another program some ways, shape, or form. There should be absolutely zero no participation reports ever. That's my opinion, and I think that if we work together and build those bridges, that we all can have 100% reporting in every program every year. Now, the final bridge that we want to build, and this is the biggest one, is to build a bridge to the community. And how can we do that? We reach out to other civic groups. We ask them what we can do to help them. We wear our brand. We go out there, and when somebody says, what's the American Legion? You can tell them what we do, what the auxiliary does. You can combine events with your other programs. Just this morning, the membership chairman and I, we were driving down here, and she had a great idea. We've got that honor flight coming up in September, and she's got these cute little cards that have poppies on them. She wants to have our juniors write thank you cards and put a poppy inside. You know what? We've just crossed 3 programs, kids. DA and honors, poppies, children, and youth. And because it's out in the public when we do the send-off, it's a community service. It is so easy to tie all of these programs together. We have a couple of service days every year. That is another great way to get a word out about who we are. And the first one I touched on a little bit at district meeting last week, and it's the 9/11 Day of Service. And basically there is a website, it's the 911day.org, where you go out and you make a pledge. And after Mike spoke at district meeting about the Be the One program, my pledge is going to be that I am going to pledge to wear a Be the One shirt on the first day of the month every day and have my picture taken and share that with social media to get word out about veteran suicide and how we need to stop this crisis in our nation. The other one is the Martin Luther King Day of Service. And that one you're encouraged to actually go out and participate in a service project in the community to get the word out about all the wonderful things that Martin Luther King wanted to do for our country and to, help end some of the diversities that are affected, especially in the culture that our nation is right now. We are encouraged, however, on both of these days of service not to use them for recruiting days. These are designed to be strictly days of service. We have another day that has been set aside at the end of April, and it's the 4th Saturday in April. It's been designated the American Legion Family Day. That is a big one for us. That is a chance for us to build that bridge, to complete that bridge between our programs, our Legion family, and our community. So please, I encourage every unit to participate in an American Legion Family Day, whether you do it one for just your unit or if you combine with several units to put one together and invite your family leadership, invite your political affiliates, your councilmen, your whomever, your mayors, invite them to come out and most importantly invite the community. The other couple of things I wanted to mention are, yes, we do have awards. There are 3 awards that are eligible. 2 of them are national awards, and it's the best community service program, and it's the best American Legion Family Day ceremony. Both of those are national awards. Both of them need to be filed electronically online through the national website. Please do not send those to me. I'll return and you might miss your deadline. Everything is on the national website for that, so please look at that. The other one is the Department Award, and it is called the Jan Croft Hometown Award. That one, all the information is in the unit guide online, but that basically project. She put together a report, pictures and stuff, and sent it to me, and we'll present that at a convention. And then there's the department chairman's challenge this year. I want to build a bridge. If you were at workshop, I handed out a whole lot of popsicle sticks. And you can get them at any craft store. They're really inexpensive. I bought 1,500 of them for like $20 on Amazon. Take those popsicle sticks, and on one side of the popsicle stick, write your name and your unit name and number, and on the back of that popsicle stick, write what your community service project was and the day you did it. That's for your special events. If you have a recurring event that you do every month, like the unit I belong to, we serve lunch to our clients at the Nassau County Council on Aging once a month. That's a great community service project. But just put there on there, third Thursday of the month, NCO away lunch. That would be what I would advise our president to do. Then send those popsicle sticks to me by April 1st. And with all of those popsicle sticks, I'm going to build a bridge with my husband, who does know now that I have enlisted his help in that. And I will present it at convention as part of my department report. That I would really like to have. The 5th district, the mighty 5th, is so amazing. I really want to be able to have top part of that bridge be the 5th district, so we can shine like we do shine all the time. Nice. So, thank you very much. Are there questions? Yes. And I believe this year it's actually April 26th, but it's always the 4th Saturday in April. Yes.
On possible things, do you want a district on there also?
If you make it fit, yeah, but those popsicle sticks are pretty small, so it's more about making sure that, as long as I know the unit, because I'm expecting them, yeah, as long as I know the unit, I can figure out the districts. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right, before we take a little break, our post 129 commander, Jeff Durden, as me likes to call him, Mr. Annie Anderson. I heard you want to say a few words.
Thank y'all for being here. Glad we got enough food for you. And thank y'all for what y'all do for the veterans and the community. Keep up good work, and if you need anything, tell her. I'm done.
All right, with that, we're going to take a little break. Let's come back.
Help for you, Anthony. How's that? That's what you get when you're a pirate. You just project. First time I've done this, I appreciate Julie's faith in me being able to take on this particular position. I have to be honest, I have learned that there are so many scholarships out there I never even heard of for young people to get money. It's absolutely amazing. And yes, I did concentrate on that a lot because I didn't realize that while we're pushing our own scholarships, we're also supposed to be supporting and encouraging the Legion scholarships. And our girls state can apply some of their scholarship programs. So when you look at the board, everything over here has to do with what the Legion itself offers. And they offer 7 of their own different programs. How many would have thought that we had a baseball scholarship? Okay, one person. I bet you have a son that plays baseball.
I'm a Legionnaire.
But some of these really, really surprised me. The baseball scholarship surprised me. The legacy is a new one that they've come out with, just since 9/11, and it is for the children of parents that were involved with the 9/11. And that is something that just, when I read about it, kind of brought tears to my eyes. But over here, all these pictures are the people who've won the auxiliaries scholarships within the last year.
sometimes if you see their faces, it kind of puts it in your mind a little bit more that, hey, these really do exist and they're worth actually applying and getting the word out on. Sorry, I did not introduce myself officially, Ms. Parliamentarian. I am Chaplain Cricket. I am your Education District Chair, and I'm also President for Unit 54. Now as we all know, with our flashlights, we are supposed to be shining our light, spreading the word about membership, and bringing others in. At the same time we shine our light for that, we also need to be sharing the light of knowledge with everybody we meet, and that's where your education program comes in. Our purpose is to promote quality education through the classroom, literacy, programs, scholarships, like I've talked a lot about, support of education beyond high school, with emphasis on both children of veterans and service members. And it doesn't just apply to the kids. There are scholarships for females, as we know, with the Kirkhout scholarship that we really want to push this year. There are other scholarships as well that people that are in the service can get for when they come out of the service and maybe they need to transition. Because let's face it, not all of the military jobs really have a civilian equivalent. So they can apply and get scholarships if you're an auxiliary and if you are granddaughters, daughters. So those are out there. The toolbox that we have to work with guides us in these by directing us to things like the Give 10 program. I think last district meeting I asked how many districts that actually went out and got donations and took them for the schools. When we were installing, there was actually a post that we went to. I can't remember which one it is. It's one of the ones towards the end. But the vice chair came up to me, I think, and said, well, we don't have an education person and we don't do anything. And I said, well, did you collect school supplies? Yeah, we did. Well, guess what? You've just done something on your education year-end unit report. So, like Robin said, there's a lot of bridges. You know, you're doing it, you may think it's community service, but you are helping those kids with their education supplies. So, take a look. If you've got an education chairman, please make sure that they get my number. I want to be in touch with them, just like, I'm sorry, Drew Blunt. Sherry. Just like, I'm thinking Stacy, and I know that's not. That's okay. But just like Sherry, I want to be able to be there for your people. I'm more than willing to help any way that I can with scholarships, filling them out, suggesting. One thing I want to bring to your attention is that the next education date would be November 13th to the 22nd. That's the education week. So see if maybe you can get with some school teachers if you know any that might need a little help in the classroom, or maybe you just take in some goodies to the pre-Ks or something. But try to get involved with your education week. There is a special award for the best tutoring program in a unit. I didn't know that. I knew we were supposed to encourage, but I had no idea that there was actually an award for that. And most of us as mothers, we've been tutoring our whole life. So what's the difference around there? Again, we are supposed to promote, encourage, and support all these different arenas for education. One thing they also are asking is to keep abreast of your legislative. Again, we're building bridges here. But keep on top of some of the legislative changes that are coming out, because they can have some really big effects, whether it's financially for school districts or, I don't know, book bans, finances, early releases, or whatever. But keep on top of this, because we do have a voice. Even though you may not think so, we do. And they want us to keep on top of that. In the packets that are over there, I did take the liberty, sorry if you guys love trees, but I cut them down because I don't remember when it's on the computer. I have to have it in my hand, I have to highlight thing that I want to make you aware of is I didn't know anything about the veterans in community schools when I started. I mean, I know every now and then I remember seeing people come in when I was in school, but they're really encouraging us to get involved with a school and talk to a history teacher. I don't know about economics, but talk to a history teacher if they're doing anything on World War II or Vietnam or Korea or the Cold War, or all that stuff that is our history. See if there's somebody in your post that maybe served during that era, and we could get them into the classroom at the same time they're teaching about it and make the history come to life for those kids. Because if you do that, they're going to be more interested in history. That'll be a stepping stone to get them towards our Legion, because of course we're going to advertise that we're Legion. And, just promote a genuine interest in the past and in our history. Again, building a bridge, because if we don't get that history out there, we're going to repeat it, and that's not good. So let's try to encourage that. There are there's 5 different awards that you can get through the program. The National Award is the Most Outstanding Unit Education Program. They do have to be submitted electronically by 5 p.m. on June 1st, and you will get a confirmation when it's submitted. All the information, again, is like everybody else on .org, and then for these national ones, you go to the www.legionhawks.org/national-awards/award. But it is online. Yes, it's the last page of your packet, actually. Okay. There's a chairman's award for the best all-around educational program, and that's 1 unit in every membership grouping. So it's not just one for the year, but it's one for every membership grouping. The department has 2 awards that they do. Again, one is a best year-round program. That one is sponsored by St. Cloud Unit 80, the Elizabeth A. Nelson Award. And the deadline on that one to department is May 1st. And then there's a second one sponsored by Orlando Unit 19, and it's for the best educational tutoring program. Your tutoring can take place in schools, libraries, community centers, or after-school programs, and should conform with the national guidelines. These reports have to be received by May 13th, 30 days prior to department convention, so that is a drop-dead date. Again, like everybody else, our unit reports are due April 1st. I'm looking forward to getting one from everybody, because I think everybody gets school supplies, if nothing else. So I'm looking forward to getting those. The scholarships, like I said, they are numerous. And in the back of your packet, you have all these little QR codes that you can go to for more information. So I'm not going to bore you with that. But if you have any questions, I'm here. So I will do my best to answer them. And if I don't know that, I will find out the answer. Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question. The Legion was the oratorical.
Yes.
So can you, as a unit, encourage, them to participate in because it's not sponsored by us, it's sponsored by the Legion.
Right, that's one of those that we want to encourage.
To participate in the Legion oratorical, because
Right.
they fall under education.
Exactly.
I have a question for you.
Oh.
What's the oratorical? I've never heard of that. Sorry, but I've never heard of that.
It's kind of getting out there and doing what we're doing.
Yeah, basically.
Speaking, public speaking.
Yeah, public speaking, what you do is, when you listen to them, I mean, when I have gone to oratorical contests with the department, even locally, which was sponsored by the Legion, I'm standing, I'm amazed, they're 17-year-old kids, they're 18-year-old kids, and you should hear them.
Annie,
They give them our
Annie.
Constitution.
can you start over and just right here,
Okay.
just so we
Yeah,
can get it?
what I was asking, Kelly, the Legion sponsors an oratorical contest.
And Florida actually has been very good because we've had some good contestants. They go all the way up to Washington, D.C. And it's boys and girls, and you have to be high school. It's not beyond that, not college. But when they give them something from the Constitution, and they have to take that with them, and that's how they go ahead and prepare themselves in the back room for the oratorial, and they have to talk about that part of the Constitution. I mean, I'm telling you, when you listen to these young women, these young men, I'm sitting there and I'm going, really? Gosh, it shows me how dumb I really am compared to what it is. And you know, I had to learn the Constitution of the United States to become a citizen, because we got tested. So, but still, now that was years ago. So, but this is what I was asking her. Encourage, if you know somebody in your school that is great in presenting, encourage them to join, to apply for the oratory, because it's absolutely beautiful. You're amazed. And go and listen to them talk.
When is this?
This is through the Legion, because I think Kelly can find out more about it,
Okay.
and then put it out to everybody.
Okay.
But that's when we get from the state, they go to Orlando.
Oh.
And kind of
Thank
make
you.
Yes, Sue.
Go ahead, finish that, then I have a second.
Well, I was just going to say that I know that the girls' state is encouraged to go to the guidance counselor and tell them about the girls' state and the essay and everything. And truthfully, part of the education chairman's job, if you will, volunteer job, is to reach out to those high schools. And I know where we live, you know, we go to a couple of different cities and a couple of different counties to draw people in for some of the things that we do. And so it doesn't have to be just right in your backyard. I mean, reach out to a school. Jacksonville's a huge place, so the people at Jacksonville Beach definitely aren't going to school over on the west side. And I'm still learning all these different codes. So I don't know who's where really yet geographically, but get out there, talk with your high school guidance counselors. Even if you just took the sheet of paper that I will send you and say, here are the 17 different scholarships we give away a year, and we'd love to have participation. That would be awesome. Yes, Sue.
Okay, when you were talking about the school supplies and stuff, 283 did something a little bit different this year. We were honored to be given cooler bags like we take to Sam's Club. And what we did, we went to the teachers and asked the teachers, what do you need? What are you buying out of your pocket? And we were told paper towels, disinfectants, Kleenex, tissues, things like that. So not only do we do the backpacks, but we had 18 teacher bags that had magic markers and the things the teachers need in those bags, along with a thank you card, telling them from us, thank you for what you're doing, taking and teaching some of these, teaching the students, and letting them know that they're appreciated. And we were able to do 8 schools this year, and we still have school supplies coming in for the autistic sensory items yet to come in to be delivered to the schools that have the autistic children. So the bag for the teacher is really good. I like your idea about the education school week, taking pastries or whatever for the teacher's lounge. And also show them again. We appreciate that as well.
That's nice.
Anybody else? Well, thank you all very much. Thank you. Girls stage, and then we'll have historian and then junior.
Well, thanks first to everybody to be here today. My name is Candace, and I'm a member of Unit 429 here. And I'm Girls State Chairman at the unit level, and now I'm so proud to be Girls State Chairman at the district level. This is so close to my heart. Yeah, it's just a wonderful experience. But what about Girls State? I don't know if you know or not, but Boys State started nationally in 1935, and Girls State started 2 years later. Florida wasn't too far behind. Girls State started in 1947, so somewhere around here. from June 19th to the 27th. So that's the kind of target area. One thing, once again, the bridges, with the education, huge thing in Girls State are the scholarships, which I'll get into. I didn't go for the tree route, but well, I didn't know. I didn't have enough paper. It's another trip to Staples. So everybody's little packet. It's really just bullets and ALAFL.org, and then go to Girls State. But this is just kind of bulletized. Talks a little bit about the scholarships. So what is Girls State? It is a program that brings juniors on their junior year, that summer, they take them to their nation's capital, to their state capital, where they learn to govern. Here in the state of Florida, the state is actually the state of Seminole. And each city, I know, yeah, because she was what to do. And each city is actually a tribe, an Indian tribe that was here in the state of Florida. It's really interesting. The time I got to go there for a few days, it's amazing how many names here, just here in Jacksonville, like Osceola. I mean, there's so many Timucua that are the Indians, and then you hear them as these different cities there. So it's it's really pretty exciting. And they divide them up into two parties: the Federalists and the Nationalists. And the girls actually do work together. Because each girl has to bring a bill that she wants passed by that session of their Congress, the Senate. So they work with their party, Nationalists or Federalists, and they decide which bills they think are the easiest to pass and should get through. And they either start in the House of Representatives, they start as a senator. If it gets through respective, then it actually goes up to the governor of the state of Seminole, and it's either approved or it's rejected, and then it goes back, just like real life, to the House and the Senate, and they either decide to kill it or amend it to hopefully get it passed. And these girls actually, they learn this stuff, and they can run for, if they want to be in the Congress or the Senate. But the big elections are for the governor and lieutenant governor. They run as a ticket. And then you can also be the House Majority Leader, the Attorney General. And then also, if the girls are interested in the judicial system, they actually have a Supreme Court. There's 9 judges, and they wear their judge's outfit, and they actually try a past case that and then finally, about that part, I just wanted to say that every bill that is passed by either the Girls State or Boys State, it goes before the governor. I mean, that's how you ended up. I don't know that there's many my age, but when you would go down the street, there was nothing painted on the sign. So if it's at night, and there wasn't many street lights, you didn't know where the road ended and where the dirt started. So that was something that was either Girls or Boys State. It was passed in legislation, and the governor's like, this is a great idea. And that's how we got the lines down the side of the road. Also, if you see maternity parking, that started in Girls and Boys State. So you don't see it everywhere, but if you see a maternity sign, they passed it. Now, I have to say, I was able to go there. It was in the Senate chambers, and they were talking about passing a bill that required everyone that reached the age of 65 to take a driver's test. 65. Then they said, and then every year after, they need to continue to take the driver's test. And unfortunately for me, I was up top and I started and then they started amending, well, 65, because for them, 65 could be their grandmother. our wonderful chaplain. You know, we can all look out there.
You gotta pray for us.
We need to get these kids to pray, man.
You were trying to say
So anyway, I went too long, sorry about that. But the main thing is, you can start whenever, once again, the way we do it, with your education, kind of talk amongst your district. If you know a unit is close to you, make sure that unit is not already working with a high school. Does that make sense? Because we don't want 129, 54, 316, all of you getting pleasure.
Right.
So this, you know, it's just politeness, and then they kind of get confused. Well, I'm working with this one. Why is she coming here or whatever? So just kind of put the feelers out to the other units close to you. You know, if you hit this high school, and if not, you know, go for it. But the applicants have to be juniors in high school and agree that they're coming back their senior year. So in other words, some of these kids might be going on to college. You know, they've got so many advanced courses, they don't need to come back. One of the stipulations is that they come back their senior year. There's a lot of scholarships that just pertain to Girl State. Once again, she's probably got the QR code. I wasn't that fancy. And then some of you units, if you've never sent a girl to Girl State, and financially you don't have the money, the department has a Cindy Burroughs scholarship. And Cindy actually was a member of 129, and she loved Girl State. So her husband at the time is now passed, but he set up a department scholarship. So you would go to department for that to apply for it. But it's a wonderful experience. If you have a chance, my board, I cannot read it to you because I always make our secretary read the letters I get back from my girls because I cannot read them. But there's two of them that wrote to me, and no, actually he sent 10, so there was about, I think we had 8 people write me a letter. But all of them, somewhere in the letter, they were so excited to meet so many wonderful girls from the state of Florida, and all of them said, I cannot believe I've gotten so close to so many women. I know they're going to be my friend forever. And we try to tell them on the local level that, but they're just so into their own little high school, which that's what we do. But when they got out of that little safety zone and started meeting other girls like them, same interests, it changes their life. I'm here for you. Oh, one thing I did put, I should have done black and white, but I did color. Girl State is $400 per girl. And we go to FSU, stay there, but you gotta feed them, they get 2 shirts. Boys State has almost doubled in the last 3 years. Girl State is holding true at 400 because they want the units to be able to afford to send girls. So, they have a Girl State raffle. This is also in your packet. And they would like each unit, make sure, yes, to bring a basket for the raffle at fall conference. So I'd love to have a bunch of the mighty fifth district. So all of you have one of these in here, then we obviously buy raffle tickets and hopefully win the basket. But all of that money goes to Girl State. Also, hopefully, I mentioned that in the last district meeting, we're going to have, we get a sponsoring unit, possibly to do a fundraiser for the bus. The bus does keep, so depending on how many people you have, it's now up to $90 a girl. That is to and from, don't get me wrong. But once again, for some units, that's hard to come up with. So if we can get a district fundraiser sponsored by a unit, all that money would go towards the bus. So hopefully out of pocket, you would just have the $400.
Nice.
And so, I think, when I learned something else, that if you get poster paper that's sparkly, stuff does not stick to it.
Yes. You're right.
I bought it today, and someone's like, I think you left stuff on the
we still responsible for paying the bus fee? And how does that bus fee get to that other district? And how do we know it got to the other district?
Well, if it is in a different district, then no, you're not responsible. But if the district, which in our case is District 3, our bus starts there and she chews up to District 5 and then down to West London. So my delegate backed out. So District 3, who's on the same bus, kind of said to me, well, you're going to be using that bus anyway, are you going to pay for it? And I just said, oh, come on. I already paid for the girl for $400.
Right.
Do I need to pay for the bus too? I said it nicely.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure you did.
she knows me too well. So she did then agree, oh, you're right, you know, I'll go ahead and pay. So technically they are supposed to pay it, but sometimes it gets back. So my thought, and that happened to me locally, someone used to delegate of mine and I ended up paying the class, but I don't care. My unit has the money to pay for it. I'd rather that girl get to girl state than all of a sudden, no, you can't go because I can't afford the bus, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean,
No, I
had to
agree.
do it, but technically they are to pay.
We would have no problem paying. It was just, there was some confusion this year.
Yeah.
Because our girl dropped out. We got an alternate. The alternate was from a different district. The bus fee was paid, but it was paid to a unit, and we don't know, did the money go to the other district, or, you know, so I just want to make sure it's clear, you know, where the money's gonna go if we have to pay it.
Yeah, then you would get a hold of the district chairman of that district, and then you would send her the
That
money, because the district chair is the one responsible for the bus.
Okay.
So you wouldn't send it to the unit, I touch base with you, but then if it doesn't seem like they're gonna pay, get with the district girl state chairman
Okay.
up there, and then let her know.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
As unit president, we went up so much in our membership this year. How is it determined how many girls we get to send?
Very good, thank you.
Good job.
First thing is based that you have a charter and you have at least 10 members. That gives you one girl stater. Then every 100, you get additional. So we've got like 370 here. So we have one for our charter and then one for each 100. So we're allowed 4. But you can also ask for over quota girls. All the monies for your, in our case, 4 delegates, might be 1, that is due to department December 28th. For their applications are online, but they're fillable, so we just print them out. So that's the first deadline. The second deadline is January 31st, if you want to apply for over quota girls. And you have to have already paid all your little unit dues to the department, which goes on the next, you have to do that. And they also say you have to be over 100%. We hit 100% in January, so we were safe. But in years past, I have asked for over quota girls, and we were not at 100%, and we got approved. So it is possible.
Is it the same amount of money for over quota girls?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be an additional 400.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we sent 10 this year. So it's
Nice.
What was the December 28th deadline?
That is the deadline to have your delegate sheet with their names and everything else and your name on it, to department with the $400. And through my experience, I would send that certified. Only because I've been told before, oh, we didn't get it. But if you get a little piece of paper back, you know they got it.
Can you clarify just that it's not the delegate statement, you interview units, unit?
Oh, sorry, yes. The original form, thank you so much, it doesn't have the delegate names on it. It has, Unit 88, District 5, your, girl state chairman, her contact information and email, and then until you get the actual delegate sheets back, you cannot start interviewing. Because even if you ask for something, doesn't mean you're gonna get it. So if you've picked out 4 girls, yeah, you're gonna be my delegate, and then all of a sudden, you only get 3, then you're in a whoop.
So you send this in by December without even knowing if you have a candidate?
Correct.
Correct, okay.
Now, you can talk to your guidance counselors and say, I'm gonna have some, try to get us ready and think about it. You can talk to the guidance counselor, but you can't interview some girls.
Okay.
Yes, so we're with Unit 54, and we have 2 delegates and 1 alternate, and we have been fortunate to have the alternate picked up by another unit that didn't have somebody. We also provide, because they are now on a cashless basis at Girls State, we also provide spending money for all 3 of them, and it's a prepaid Visa card. So that's another thing that we add into our budget in addition to the transportation.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry,
When can you begin going into the
You begin tomorrow, going into the guidance counselor and introduce yourself, your girl state, and then, like she said, there's like 4 or 5 scholarships. People, these girls, I mean, if nothing else, even they don't want to be a senator when they grow up. FSU has a scholarship in there. Samsung is a huge scholarship. I mean, that came on, on the same side as a Korean company. They came to the Boys and Girls State nationally and said, I want to start a scholarship for these kids that are striving for greatness. And it started as one fund and they've invested wisely. So that Samsung scholarship is not going to go away anytime soon. It's just a wonderful deal. Yeah. Just like not hitting the same high school, I have had girls in the past whose parents are beyond a personality. I don't know if there's another letter. That's them. And they are pushing this poor kid so hard to become a boys and girls stater that most times the kid doesn't even want to go, but these parents are pushing them. And they start shopping around. In other words, they came here one time and she wasn't selected. She didn't want to be there. So I'm not going to take one of my slots. So then she went, I think, to 316. And unbeknownst to 316, she didn't go. So the mother kept at it until finally she called the department, the mother did, and said she has to be a girl stater.
Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately, part of it caved. I will not have caved. So part of my very first questioning with the student, there's certain things you have to ask when you swear a Bible, blah, blah. But one of the things I asked is, have you interviewed at another unit to go to Girls State? If they say yes, I said, I'm sorry. It's over. Because you cannot shop around.
Sure. Deciding how we had a girl that went to, did go to Girls State. She didn't want to go, really, and it was one of those, the parents saying, oh, you gotta love it. She came back and really had the best experience of her life. Sorry. This girl didn't want to go to Girls State, and we sent her anyway. She came back and said it was the best experience in her entire life, but she would never be in politics.
She learns young. So, thank you for these wonderful questions.
Any other questions? Angie, our historian.
I don't have fancy paper or anything like that. My name is Angela Adams.
positions in all of the auxiliary or in any group for that matter. Okay, we are beginning the process of building a house. Without blueprints, how do you know what to do? Since the creation of the American Legion in 1919, the blueprints are our history. They have built us to the auxiliary we are today. Without history, how do people know what the American Legion Auxiliary does? Who have been the pivotal people in our history? What has the American Legion done for veterans and their families? What can you find the American Legion, and how do people know the things we have done? We as volunteers work hard in events daily. Do you ever think, will anyone remember this in 5 years or even a year? How can you look back and remember the events or activities worked or did not work? This is where the historians can create the blueprints of their unit. The definition of a blueprint is a two-dimensional set of drawings that show how a building should be designed and constructed. Blueprints are also known as construction plans. Our history books are our blueprints that design our organization to what it is today. The first dimension of the blueprints is our past history, the events we have done previously that we have worked so hard to promote and to make us what we are today. The second dimension is what we're currently doing to secure our future. So with that being said, where are our historians here? We have one, a junior historian. Oh, we got another one, okay. So, when I started off as a historian, I was very confused because I feel like public relations and historians sometimes gets very intertwined. At workshop, I was kind of defining something that was very interesting, and Bernat was very good at defining that. Historians are the past. Public relations is the future. So anything to do with the future, promoting, anything like that, that's the future. That is your public relations. Yesterday could be your past. So your past is anything previous that you would do. That's where it's a hard line, because your public relations will want to post pictures and do all of the events. Should the historians have the pictures as well? Absolutely. In fact, in our group, we actually have flash drives that I use to put all the yearly photos on, so that there may be some photos that we take out there that you may not want posted. They may be goofy photos, they may be fun photos. You still want those photos, because that photo still reminds you and tells you what happened during that event. You may not be able to post them, however, you can still have them. So I recommend keeping a flash drive. The second recommendation is going to be that I have this book, and if you're in my Legion, you know that I carry this book with me pretty much to every event, every meeting, every event, everything that we come to. The reason I do that is my logbook. So when we hold an event, and I go home tomorrow, and I sit down to write about it, am I going to remember everyone that was there? Am I going to know how many people were there? Are you going to remember the small details? So during an event, or even meetings, or trainings, or anything like that, I will write everything down in my logbook. So I'll write down how many people attended. I'll write down what the event was for. So kind of, just as we've asked our kids 1,000 times, who, what, where, and why. You're going to a party? Who's going to be there? What are you going to be doing? Why are you going? Those are going to be your 4 key things for your logbook. Who attended? Who was present? Was there your district president present? Was a special guest These are our events. These are the bridges we cross. We invited past presidents. We had past presidents at our events. We hit into community service. We've touched into all of these. So then I can then send it over to my community service rep and say, we touched this, this, and this on this event. Don't forget to put it in your reports. Does that make sense? Okay. So there are 4 district awards, 2 junior awards, and 1 department award for historian. For the first one is a district award for best written senior history. So this is going to be just your written narrative. You've got a best written district senior history, which would be, you guys are going to send those to me, and then I'm going to create a district report and send it to you. You've got a members remember certificate given for each submission. So this is, if you can create a list of all of your past presidents, and every month, maybe you write a little thing on your Facebook about a little information about one of your past presidents. You're crossing into past President Parley, but you're also giving your history. So our unit is currently trying to define a list of all of our past presidents, so that we have that for history, and I would recommend that everyone do the same. We also have a best pictorial unit for juniors of a junior history book, a best written history for juniors as well, and then we have the Voorhees Award, which is the department award, which is your best pictorial history book. I have papers back there that describe the entire award and what is required in it. It is a 20 to 25 page electronic submission to the district, not to me, of basically a scrapbook. You want to describe your entire history in chronological order, and it doesn't have to be every event. You would pick and choose in chronological order your history of the year in pictures with little narratives. You can do narratives. There's some requirements there. You would submit that then electronically to the department, not to me, by May 1st. I do ask that all reports are due to me, along with a copy of your logbooks. I would like to see a copy of your logbooks. The best way we can create an entire district history is going to be by me following your logbooks. You may pick 10 items to send to me in a pictorial, but we may need to include half of your history for that year. So I do ask that they send me the logbooks. I do have cards back here with my address and email address. You can send them electronically or via snail mail. It's up to you guys. I do ask to have those by May 26th. Any questions? Thank you. Sue, juniors next, and then we'll do legislative after that. And then all membership, and then we should be able to go for lunch.
I didn't bring everything up. I'm afraid to move the Legos that my grandson took for the park.
So the juniors and young SAL members are the age 17 and under. The mission of the Junior Activities Committee is to promote volunteerism through community-based programs. Build your junior program by getting the girls in your post unit to become members and get involved. This is the same for the young SAL. Some units may have a difficult time knowing who your young SAL are because their almas is different than ours. Ours, we can get a report of what juniors are in our units and in our district. Young SAL doesn't do it that way. Their age isn't in there. So it's a longer process to try and find those. Any junior or young SAL under the age of 8 will be allowed to have their parents participate, or parents at the meeting and the events they participate in. Also remember, they are minors. To be able to have their pictures taken and posted, you do need the social media consent form signed. Now in your packets, I have put a copy of each of those forms. So you'll be able to see what they look like, and you'll be able to print those off. There's also a consent and code of conduct form, and a volunteerism form. And I know I've seen a few of the juniors' volunteerism forms, and they are filled with different events that they've done, going to workshop, convention, conference, going to Nashville to a juniors meeting there. So if at the end of the year, if you can make a copy of those from your junior and make sure I get it, that will get our juniors report a little bit more beef into it to show that our juniors are actually doing things. The forms need to be kept in your records. With everything going digital, you can either keep a hard copy book or you can scan the items into your computer for future reference. Additional information of what is in your packet, I've handed out, can be found at www.afl.org or at www.legion/auxiliary.aux.org. Our department president, Charlotte Bass, designated flashlights for District 5, and our juniors are the apprentices. Their journey from apprentice up to journeyman is a long road, but can be very fulfilling to the juniors as well as the senior members who are mentoring them. And our department chairman is Tara Harris. She was our department chairman last year for juniors. She did a great job. Our juniors may be small, but they are mighty, along with the young SAL members. They are the future of the American Legion. As senior members, mentors, and chairmen, we need to take these young members under our wings and teach them the mission of the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion. We need to be patient with them. They are young. They do not have the life experience that we have. And sometimes in a meeting, it's kind of hard for them to sit still. So you have to take that into consideration. If we discourage them, they will quit. If they quit, there goes our foundation. These children are going to grow up to be our senior members. We want to make sure that they know what they need to be able to run a meeting. We're not only losing out, but we are losing out on fresh ideas that they can bring. Each one of us in here may have a different idea on how to do the juniors, how to mentor the juniors, how to get them to work on the patches. It is not a small chore for them to earn the patches. There are pages and pages of things that they have to do from, as you can see here, we've got purple, which is kindergarten, preschool. Grades 1 through 4 are red, 5 through 8 grades are gold, and blue are grades 9 through 12 or 18 years old. So for them to get all of those badges, it's quite a bit of work for them to do, and we do need to help them with that. They are our future foundation of our organization. In your packet are the forms you need, and yes, as I say everywhere, deadlines are real. In your packet are a copy of the year-end reports, as well as the forms you need for your junior programs. There are also a page of QR codes that you can click on to help you get the much needed information. Also in your packet, there was a very good article in the auxiliary newsletter that came in the mail, and it actually tells how to start a junior program. And I know that there are not many units in District 5 that have a junior program. You have juniors, but 30
37 tells me their juniors like to use the pool. They're not always wanting to come to a meeting or anything like that. So there's different units that have different reasons for the kids to be there, and we need to get those kids all together to get them to work as their own unit. Your juniors should always be invited to your children and youth activities, the President's Project event, and any program they can assist at. President Bass's theme is building a house, and our juniors, again, are that foundation. And it needs to be a firm foundation. You know, they always say if you build a foundation on sand, it's going to fall. Well, that's not a firm foundation. So we need solid ground for these children to learn, to be able to have a secure foundation for our future. We need to mentor these young ones. We need to teach them and show them how important they are to us. They are us. They are our future. If we ignore them, how long do you think they're going to stick around? If they get bored, how long do you think they're going to stick around? We have, in our unit, we have juniors that they play softball, and they come to us for softball scholarships. You don't see them any other time, but they are our juniors, and we do try and help them out with that. There is the Juniors Department of Florida Juniors Facebook page. There's the Juniors group. And if you need to contact me, I do have business cards back there, but my email is weird. I'm still an old AOL person. And it's mmokey@AOL.com. Or you can call me on my personal cell phone, which is 843-685-7981. And I know that President Julie put out all of the information on the spreadsheet that she sent out. And just remember, we have, as I said, we have a junior of the year. We have unit honorary positions. Kylie, Victoria, Adriana, and Mia Kay have all held honorary positions within their unit. And right now, department honorary junior positions, we have Kylie, who's doing historian, and we have Mia Kay that's doing secretary. So 2 of our juniors from District 5 are helping out at the department. So, again, make it fun. Discuss mission service, ways they can impact our mission of the community, foster friendship and mentoring. And also leadership, but brick by brick, junior by juniors, we'll build a program. Does anybody have any questions? Amy.
Amy Ritter of that Unit 9 in Jacksonville. The form that we have to sign, the guardian correction slip, is that a once form or every time they come out form?
It used to be once a year that you had to do the forms. When we were at workshop, they said that now it's once a year. And once you get it signed, you keep it in your hard copy book. I have a hard copy book, but I also have it on computer, and that's good until they are no longer a junior, go up as senior member. Any other questions? Have I totally confused everyone? I normally do. Okay, thank you so much.
Real quick, Lynn, legislative thing. That's not here today, but Co-Chair Aurora thanks this is legislative. But I did send out to the unit presidents and to the chairman, the district chairman contact list. So ask your unit president to share that with you. I also have a few extra copies today. So if you are a chairman for your unit, if you want that information, come see me after, and I'll make sure that you get the information.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. My name is Aurora Saints. I am the co-chair this year for legislative, and I'm honored. So, I have my light shining. My light shines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and yes, I'm in disaster mode, so bear with me. Legislative, wow, that's a lot. It is heavy. department instructed the district chairman, Yvette Moore, I am the co-chair of Aurora Saints. We have plans, and the plans are to let our voices be heard. We were ringing bells. Now we're lighting up. We're building a foundation. The United States was built on a foundation, and we're still defending it to this day. So my dual hatters, woohoo! Thank you. I'm going to read from this because Yvette has some instructions. So, it's very simple. Get out. Let your voice be heard. Read legislative. In the department's things, we're going green. So everything isn't passed out anymore in a paper form. I like every now and then to highlight stuff and make my little notes. So take some time. There's a couple copies back there. Presidents or vice presidents or anyone who's taking the packages back to your unit. In your unit, you'll find the forms that I'm talking about. They're going to be right here with all the websites to go to. You'll find this little book right here. Every unit has it. It's very simple. And those of us techie people that like to look stuff up, well, it's right there. In the process of making legislative more user-friendly, they try to mainstream things. But in mainstreaming things, sometimes little things fall through their cracks. We're still a grassroots nation. We still like to get together and go, oh my God, did you hear such and such, and they're trying to do this to us? Let's get out and vote. That's what legislative is. Things that affect the legislation, things that are currently sitting on Capitol Hill, things that have to be voted on and talked about. Because I agree with what was said, Madam Chaplain, thank you so much. We talk, but sometimes we don't listen. Our goal this year, working collaboratively to build a foundation, not just on dirt, gravel, rock, sea-rock, lay that cement, throw some 2x4s and 4x7s up there, I build houses, is to get us all to understand we have a voice. We have that by the very foundation that was laid for us to speak, to read, to go back and say, well, gosh, they did this over there. When is it going to come this way? In the legislative, there are bills. And we all have bills. But these bills are important bills. And we want to learn about them. How does it affect us? How does it affect our service man, woman, husband, wife, son, daughter, grandkids? They talking about taking my disability away. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I got blown up for my country. I want to get paid by my country. But if you take my money away, well, I'm going to go work just as hard as anybody else. But I may not be able to work as that 20-year-old. I'm Tapping. But that is in legislation right now. We don't know this because we're not thinking about it. We're not looking at it. We're not reading about it. That's where I implore each and every one of you sitting here today, take some time. Talk about it at your dinner table. Talk about it at your church, at your bingos, at your game nights, and say, you know what do we really need to be looking at? And
Why is reaching 100% so hard?
Financial, I do.
Because truly, we should be having the members that we've already joined, renewing, and we should only have to get one or two more. Why are we not retaining our members? Because the only reason we should not retain a member is death, illness, or moved. What are we not doing? How many units have offered a new members ceremony?
That's the same unit.
That's really one.
Yep.
Because they're from the same unit. Honestly, yes. How many units hand out a new member packet?
Same unit.
All right, that's two. Now for the big one. With a show of hands, how many of you have called a new member in the past 6 months?
How about just talking to them?
All right. Then the next question will be, what happened to you to move you from a new member to an active member? Think of those things. As we are building the house and securing our foundation to build a stronger future, remember that membership is the key. I think I picked up the wrong page here. But it's okay, we'll get there. Membership is the foundation on which all the programs of the American Legion Auxiliary are built. Without membership, there would be no American Legion Auxiliary, therefore no programs. At workshop, Jan spoke of the 3 R's. Renew, recruit, and retain. We all know that's been here forever that you gotta get your dues in. The membership person's gotta put them into Alanis. The presidents and everybody else has got to try to recruit people to come. Oh, do you have a member that's in the Legion? How about your granddaughters? Can we sign them up? We all are doing that. I think we fall short on the retaining. How do we retain members? That is the real question, and the one that many units fall short with. Think about it. We recruit a new member, and they pay their dues. They come to a couple meetings, and then 6 months later, someone will ask, what happened to that new member? In digging into the national membership information, the way to retain members are to exhibit a type of kindness that makes everyone feel valued and included. This means being nice, telling newcomers hello, and welcoming them to our group. It also means being kind, going the extra mile to build a relationship and encourage inclusivity among new and existing members alike. I had spoke about the new member initiation ceremony.
Do we all know what that is? Have you ever been initiated yourself?
Yes.
Yes, you have. This is located in the Manual of Ceremonies in the Nationals Unit Guidebook. The initiation ceremony is an important function to the preservation and perpetuation of the American Legion Auxiliary ideas and purposes. Most new members who take a part in this ceremony will acquire a greater sense of belonging, will tend to become more active in the unit, and consequently will be more apt to retain their membership. The importance of the initiation ceremony cannot be overemphasized. Not only does it afford a long-time auxiliary member the opportunity to reaffirm their oath of obligation, but it also provides a method whereby the basic tenets of the American Legion Auxiliary are reinforced. The initiation ceremony teaches the principles of justice, freedom, democracy, and loyalty. It explains the symbolism of the flag of the United States and the emblem of the American Legion Auxiliary. So, make sure that the newcomer, the new member, has a welcome packet. What's in a welcome packet, you say? Well, online in the program, well, no. Actually, the welcome packet, I believe, is in Quick Links under membership.
It is.
Go there and pull up what Jan has just updated for the new members packet. You should also include who is the president, who are the officers, who are the chairmen, how can I get in touch with them, what are our Constitution, bylaws, and standing rules. When you give this to a new member, you empower them to become an active member. So, this is how we begin retaining. Work on those relationships. You know, as a member that's been there a while, when I see a new member in our unit and I see that, well, I'm a sergeant at arms now, so I'm up there watching everybody, and I can see them go, I wanted to ask a question, but nah, I'm afraid. So after the meeting, we go out in the canteen, and hey, I saw you today. How long have you been a member? What do you like doing? How did you hear about us? Start those little conversations. Now, it might be that you don't know anything about the thing that's their passion, but you know the chairman in your group that is over that. So connect them. Build them bridges, not just in programs, but with the people. That's why membership is the key. If you can't get into the house, what use was building the house?
Any questions for Roberta on membership?
I don't have a question, but just something that I've started doing is when I have somebody that I help fill out a new member application, sometimes they don't want to check off the boxes at the bottom because they feel like they're being obligated. But the last lady that just signed up, she said, I don't really go out of the house much, and I'm not sure how active I'll be at the meetings, but I like to sew. Guess what, Boggy Creek? I'm going to send her that pattern. So I've been trying, when I do an application, trying to just think about different programs where maybe you need help, and maybe some of these people are not really the go-get-em Sallies that the rest of us are, but they can be a lot of help from behind the scenes. And
write on the back my notes that I've made from it. So that might help with retention, I don't know.
All right, I also wanted to let the membership chairman know, I've put a packet over there. Also, our unit membership chairman are wooden pallets. So you all have a wooden pallet in your packet. Also, keep on hand applications. If your unit doesn't have those, go to Quick Links membership forms. There is a form there that you can order them. You just write down how many you need. Department determines, okay, yes, you know, they're not asking for a ton of them, and they're free. So, question?
Not a question, but I just wanted to say, I know most of us, as unit presidents, know that we have such a hard time with getting members to show up to meetings or volunteer. And I did steal this idea from one of the units in here. I'm not sure who you are, but I want to say thank you. You know, Unit 88 is raffling off 2 free memberships. As long as you show up to a meeting or you volunteer, you get a raffle ticket. And then in December is when we're going to draw for the 2 free memberships. And you have to be present in order to win the 2 free memberships. I really am not sure which unit. I saw somebody, I think Verna posted it. I'm not sure. Somebody posted it anyways. But at my last meeting, I had more ladies there this past Thursday than I've had in quite a while. So free stuff brings them in.
And that's the collaboration we're talking about. Piggyback off of ideas, make it work for your unit. There are so many different ideas out there. Make it work for your unit. Each unit is different and unique. What works for your unit may not work for somebody else, but you tweak it, change it, make it work. And with one more thing I wanted to say real quick before we break for lunch is I know you're getting a lot of information thrown at you. AIFL.org, the national site, programs, quick links. I mean, it's all over the place. It's a lot of input. So as you go home and you start processing and you have questions, please, again, reach out to the chairman. That's what they're here for. Reach out to myself. We are here to help you. Where is that again? Where do I find this? Reach out to us. That's what we're here for.
Guys, national security and good afternoon. I'm going to start off by saying national security is a complex program because of the amount of components, but it's one of the 4 pillars of the American Legion Auxiliary. The national security program has 6 key objectives to keep in mind while we're working the mission. We're going to maintain and promote a strong national defense by strengthening and supporting our military servicemen, members, and their families. We're also going to support and enhance the Legion family and partner with initiatives that strive to improve the quality of life, and it's also QOL sometimes. So if you don't know, that's what it is. Of our service members and their families as well. Support all your military families by working with their command group and family readiness groups. Raise awareness of our POWs, MIAs, work and the work being performed by the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, which is DPAA, in the search for our missing personnel. Remember to support those families. Service members made the ultimate sacrifice. And recognize and support our law enforcement, our fire, and first responders. Those are our 6 key objectives, people, that we should always keep in mind about national security. I would suggest that you go ahead, which is in your packets when you take them back to your post, pull out your unit year-end report. First thing. Don't wait till it's time to report. Look it over. It will give you a good idea where to start, and use it to start planning out your year. Pick out the items and groups that you want to support.
And please remember, there are so many other groups that we can partner with that will help us work one of our 6 key objectives that I spoke about already. Then, towards the bottom of the year-end report, right down here, there are 14 items that fall under this program. And by breaking it down, you just have to fill in the blanks. Please remember that even though you think the year starts after department convention, it really has started as of April 1st, because that is when we cut off to report everything we need to department. So don't forget to include those on your district report, even though you think it's the previous year. We all look and we know that it's impossible to work every aspect of this program. I mean, that's a lot right there. 14 right there, okay? So, and that's, I'm talking about the other stuff that we can do. Pick 1 or 2 of these items and support them. Ask your members if they belong to any of the other organizations that we can partner with, because then you can use what they are willing to give us in that program, because they may report it there, but they can divide those hours if they choose to and report with us. There are things that you might be able to ask those who don't or get out anymore to work part of this program from home, like the Troupons. E-mentoring is a part of this program I didn't know about until I started doing some work. Making donations to washboard troop kits. That is in your packet. All you have to do is make a donation, give them you can give them a service member's information, and they do all the work. It's not that hard, guys. That's something somebody from home can work on. And then we have our Department Charlotte Fast Charity, which is Operation 300, right here. I do have a few of these printed out. I did not print many because that's a lot of ink. So there are a few back there you can grab off the table and look at it, or you can go online, of course, to alafl.org. You hear that a lot. This organization that Charlotte Bass has picked is for our Gold Star fathers. It is children who have lost their dads in the line of service. They take these children and take them for a weekend, and they go and do things like camping. It's kind of like camping, but you get to learn archery and shooting, even flying a small plane. Who would think that you could go and learn to fly a small plane? That's a little crazy to think, you know? And then, of course, wear your red shirt Friday. On the side of my board, I put, where in the world is your red shirt Friday? We have been asked that we take pictures of us wherever we go in our red shirts and post them on the Facebook page. There will be an award for most creative, and there will be an award for the farthest distance from home. So that's the chairman awards for this year. And then we're going to continue to be the one initiative, because we don't need another one of our veterans taking their life or family member taking theirs, for that matter, because they can't help their servicemen, whether they are active or retired. Wear the B1 shirt on the 1st of every month. Post your pictures on Facebook, unit, district, department, and even national. Where can you get one of these shirts, you ask? Go to Emblem Sales /Legion/program events.
Bless you.
Yes, bless you. Back to where in the world is our red shirt? This year, the department chairman wants you and me to have fun with what we should be already doing, which is wearing our red shirts every Friday. You can win an award doing just that. Department Chairman Tammy Zell wants you to take photos of yourself and or members over the course of the year and post them to the Facebook page through May 2nd. That's your cutoff date of 2025. She will then give you the 2 awards on Most Creative and Farthest from Home. Please remember to include your unit number. If you don't use Facebook, you can email her a photo in a JPEG style to nationalsecurity@alafl.org so that they can post it. They will be hosting monthly Zoom meetings, which will be taking place starting September. National security and Americanism, another pillar, will be teaming up and covering both pillars together. The meeting schedule is the third Monday of every month at 6 p.m. First one is September 16th, October 21st, November 18th, December they're taking off, January 20th, February 17th, March 17th, and April 21st. The information is in the packet, in the program engagement plan. Reporting. I know this is a subject everybody doesn't like to hear, but you should know the dates by now, same as they have been for the past couple of years. April 1st to your district chairman me, so I can get my report into department by April 15th. Awards. In our section, there are several awards. They have dates, guys, and dates are real, okay? The Chairman Award is May 2nd. That's for your Red Shirt Friday. Department Awards, there are 3. You have till May 10th. And the National Unit Award deadline is May 1st, and they have a couple different things there. All of this is in your program engagement plan, so I will not be reading all of that. I want to thank you for what you do and for taking the time to come and learn about these programs today, and then I hope you have learned something to take back to your units, your chairman, and your members. I, Jim, once again, am Nancy Chandler, your 5th District Chairman. My email is very simple. It is chandler.nancy70@gmail. And my phone number is 904-556-0021. And of course, Miss Julie has it on the chairman sheet if you need it. Are there any questions?
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Copy Chairman.
Yes, because I'm having issues. Where is it? Trudy Moody.
Hello, mighty fitness track. Everybody away? Talk about poppies.
My name is Judy Moody. I am the unit poppy chair as well as your district poppy chair. I'm with Unit 129. All of this information I'm reading off is going to be in your packets. Okay? So I may have a little bit of information that's not on here, but I'll definitely tell you. In accordance with the American Legion Poppy Program and Poppy Fund rules, as revised in 2013-2014 by the American Legion National Executive Committee, poppy funds may only be used for the rehabilitation of veterans honorably discharged from the United States Armed Forces after April 6, 1917. For the welfare of the families of veterans honorably discharged. The rehabilitation of hospitalized military service personnel returning home and awaiting discharge who require treatment in service hospitals. And for any additional information, you can see it on your Department of Florida Poppy Program Engagement Plan, which is in the packet. And you know, the poppy, there are, so many things we can do. We've got Miss Poppy, we've got Little Miss Poppy, and I don't know how many units actually, participate in that. But invite us, invite your district chairs to these events. I would love to go, not only to see the pageant but to meet everybody. I mean, do I know everybody's name here? Absolutely not. And that bothers me, because I've been going around, this is my second year. So please, invite your district chair people to your
to your programs. All right, and for your national awards, where are you going to get? Go, no, I'm sorry, that's not doing that. www.aliforveterans.org. For department awards, see your auxiliary department unit guides for rules. Hopefully everybody has a unit guide. If you don't, that's something else you can pull up on. Yes. Unit year-end reports are due by April 1st, 2024 to me. Form is included in your pack. Taking the time to share a favorite story about the positive impact you or someone you love has had on our mission is worth doing. It helps us tell the world who we are, what we do, and why we matter. Main Poppy Distribution Days. National Poppy Day, which is the Friday before Memorial Day. Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Good news, everybody.
We can do it anytime.
You can do it at any time you want to.
Woo-hoo. Yes.
But they are your three main days. Poppy proceeds. 25% of the net proceeds of the unit's Poppy distributions are to be sent to department headquarters on the Poppy proceeds form in your packet by 11:30 and prior to convention. I've got a little bit of history about the poppies, which I really, really like. Why did so many poppies appear during the First World War? The war created prime conditions for poppies to flourish in Flanders and northwest France. And Parley, is that how you pronounce that? Okay. Continual bombardment disturbed the soil and brought the seeds to the surface. They were fertilized by nitrogen and the explosives and lime from the shattered rubble of the buildings. Most poignantly, the blood and the bones of the millions of men, horses, donkeys, dogs, and other animals richly fertilized the soil. The longer the war continued, the more men and animals died. The more men and animals died, the more the poppies thrived. Did not know that. Did poppies appear on other battlefields? Yes, particularly on the Gallipoli Peninsula in Ottoman Turkey. Allied troops landed here on April 25th, 1915. The objective was to capture the city of Constantinople, now Istanbul, and knock Ottoman Turkey out of the war. Trench warfare quickly took hold at Gallipoli, mirroring the fighting taking place on the Western Front. After 8 months of heavy fighting, the Allies withdrew in January 1960. It was a major Allied failure and a defining moment for the nation of Turkey. Anyway, by the time the Allies left, whole swaths of the area were covering poppies. A valley south of Jacksonville Beach was named Poppy Valley. Now there's a little bit of information regarding the poppy, how it became so popular, familiar with all of us. A lot of this I did not know, and I love poppies. Anybody have any questions at this point? Well, evidently, okay. What do you got?
I was curious about the black poppy and the white poppy.
Okay. The poppies do not only come in the color red, they come in multiple colors. Okay? The red poppy, of course, is to honor our veterans, our service members. Okay? The white poppy is for peace. The purple poppy, which I really like, is to honor the service dogs, and not just the dogs, but the service animals. And then the black poppy, put my glasses on, remembering African, Black, and Caribbean communities' contribution
Americans and Jamaicans that were involved in the conflict?
Caribbean.
Amy?
Where do we get our copies from?
You can actually get them from the department. The order form is in the packet.
If I'm not mistaken, that order's gonna be in this month.
Who makes the copies?
Our veterans do.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
Or you can make them yourself. I tried it. Been there, done it, no more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't the copy orders have to be in by the end of this month?
They are due 30 days. 30 days before you, the order is in there 30 days before you need them.
Okay.
Okay, it's a little bit confusing now since we can do it all the time.
Yeah.
So just give it 30 days.
This is just a point of comment. I watched the copy pre-convention thing, and there is one man, I don't remember his name or where he lived, but he by himself, a veteran, has made over 400,000 copies.
Wow.
Yes, by himself. So I thought that was just incredible and needed to be said.
Yeah, he needs an
Because
award.
that's amazing. So,
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that is amazing. Anybody else? You want me to wrap it up?
No. I was just going to add that if no veterans, they can make them ahead to 15 cents. These are
Yeah. And they're looking for copy makers. They're there.
Where in Jacksonville, we do it. I do not know. Hopefully nobody will have to travel down to Orlando.
Anybody interested, we can get that information. All right, any other questions for Miss Judy, our copy lady? All right, thank you. Thank you. Next up is PR, and then Ginger Sergeant at Arms will be after her.
Yeah, Verna is. We voted for her again. She does a great job. She does.
All right, my name is Verna Luke, and I am from Unit 233 in Ponte Vedra Beach, and I am your Public Relations Chairman. So public relations is our positive image of the American Legion Auxiliary. It tells people who we are, what we do, and why we matter. It is very important, as I said, your positive image, always smiling, wearing your branded apparel so they know what we represent and what our organization is about. Part of the program itself is branding, visibility in the community, and media. And that's getting our news out into news articles on Facebook, on social media platforms, sharing not only within our own Facebook accounts, but also with our community, let's say your community neighborhood, SWIP swap events. There's such a plethora of different social media platforms that we can share who we are, what we do, and why we matter. The complete program engagement plan is online. I do have a USB drive that I provided to each unit president. In there, you're not going to find the program engagement plan because it is online, but I do have a PDF in there with information that it's clickable. So you can go in there and you will find not only the media templates that National has available for different events, you will also find the branding guide. You will find all our social media platforms, not only for the ALA 5th District, but also our Legion, our Sons, our Riders, and we also have a northern area. So all those are available for us to share our information because, as many have said, we all have to work together to be successful. So it's not, we are a family. So that information is in there. Also, I also share with you what apps I use personally to create flyers. I do use Poster My Wall, which I some of you also use, but I also do Canva. They both have a free version, so go ahead and create your own account because whatever you work on will be saved under your profile. And those are free apps. And there is like thousands of flyers that are already pre-made. You can add your own pictures, you can change fonts, you can change colors. There's so much you can do, and there's no reason why you should be struggling to make a flyer when it's already pre-made and available to you. One of my newest apps I use is Canva, and I do have the upgraded version because I use it also for video making, also Instagram, for the department itself. So it's like $112 for the home gear, but it saves, and you can also create your own branding guide on there where it already has all the fonts that you use or your colors and your logos. So those are the two apps I use. So all that information, as I said, is on the USB drive. I've also uploaded Department President Charlotte's pin, her icon. I've also uploaded all the auxiliary JPEG formats and PNGs. So what PNG is, it's transparent, so you can put it on any document and it looks very nice and professional.
That's good.
So all that information is in there, and also my contact information. What else do I have for you? So one thing, we just had our pre-convention meeting for public relations. We did not, as Florida, we did not have a successful year like we did last year. Sadly, I believe that only one unit in the whole Department of Florida was able to get a national award this year. And what was said in the pre-convention meeting is that they want to see you in your branded apparel, first and foremost, in all your pictures. Second of all, they want to see action photos, which means you're handing the copy to the person. Not that you're like, we're here out doing copies. They want to see you in action. They want you handing that backpack to the child, or handing that tray of food to the veteran, or serving lunch, things of that matter. So they want to see action photos because they want the photos to reflect our mission. And another thing is they want to see related programs. So they want to see children and youth, military, active military, and veterans. So those are the 3 points that they want to see pictures about. They all know that we all do lunches, we all do dinners, we all do functions of that nature, but they want to know about your events that are dedicated to the children and youth, active duty military, and veterans.
That's it.
So that was one of the things they did share for this year. I mean, things may be different next year because every year all the committee people do change. So come at National Convention, we will learn maybe a little bit more that I will bring back to you and share at our district meeting. Also, please keep your photos in JPEG resolution. So with the USB drive that I'm providing you, you can upload your pictures on there for your in-action, working the mission photos, and save them that way. Because once you upload them on Facebook, if you have 200 pictures, they will decrease in quality and they will not be able to be used for the newspaper or for the Jumbotron at National Convention or for the slideshows that we do at convention, Excel, and conference. So those are some tips that I have for you. As always, I'm here to help you, to guide you, and I'm available. You can private message me on Facebook. I have my contact information. I have some business cards back there. But I'm always here to serve you. And I mean, there's a couple of people that have reached out. I've made flyers for them. Whatever I can do, I'm here to help. Because we are going to be only successful if we all work together. I think Robin made that we are here to support each other. Are there any questions? Yes?
Could you repeat the names of the 2 apps?
It's postermywall.com.
Okay. And you said Canva, is that with a K?
C-A-N-V-A. Canva.com, like canvas without the S.
Gotcha.
Canva.com. And again, I highly recommend that you create a profile. A lot of people are scared to create a profile because they don't want to pay for you to save your documents, your flyers. Because I'm telling you, personally for me, with my unit, like I've used the same Halloween flyer for the past 5 years. So, I mean, all I have to do is change the dates. I can even have maybe another little pumpkin on it if I wanted to, but it's already there and available. Don't duplicate the effort. Anything else? Okay, so again, on the program engagement plan on the department website, and I do have that information clickable for you, are all the social media platforms for every program. So not only on the national level, but also department. Each department has a Facebook page that you could follow, and also that information, there's great information on there that's shared every day or every other day or weekly by your department chairman. And please join them because most of those pages are private. So if you're not going to be a member, you're not going to learn the tips and tricks that they have or the feedback or ideas that are shared. I think Sherry mentioned that someone had said they do a free membership raffle. That actually came from ALA FL membership page. And it just happened that I believe we shared it or we commented, and that's what, but all those tips were shared on there. So do join all the Facebook pages. We have our own Facebook page, and I hope you're on it. It's ALA FL District 5. So please join our page because as we have been talking through today, I have uploaded not only the oratorical contest from 2024, I've uploaded the link to the member kit. I went in, so anytime someone has spoken, I just did a link to votervoice.net, which is part of ALA FL Legislative. So every week we receive a newsletter from grassroots, what the Legion is doing and what they're promoting as to take an action for legislative. So I just shared that on there. So go on there and start following those programs and those pages, and we upload information on there. Anything else? That's it. All right. Anything else from you? All right. So again, I'm here to help you, so do not hesitate.
Yeah.
I love helping, and I only work 2 days a week, so I work on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm available Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever you need. On the weekends, I'm pretty busy. So, but thank you so much.
She's really.
All right. Thank you.
Savannah.
Oh.
Savannah.
All right. Ginger, our district sergeant at arms, is going to talk a little bit about sergeant at arms, and then after that, we will have VA&R, and then I'm going to hit constitutional bylaws, and then I'm going to do
Yeah, Ginger's your first name. I didn't get her last name. See, she's. Yeah, she's.
What kind of salute was that?
Yes.
So,
But she went
two
in-
different kinds of
she did
salutes.
that.
So I did this.
Yes.
This is for anybody that has never served in the military.
Yes.
Can everybody hear me? Yeah? Okay. So this is for anybody that has never served in the military. This salute is somebody that has served in the military. They also do not have to be in uniform to salute. So when I escort a guest, I ask them, have you ever served in the military? So I know to bring them to flag side. Anybody that served in the military always gets escorted around flag side. Everybody else gets escorted
To this side.
to banner side, okay? I know we have a lot of new people here, so I'm going to talk about hollow ground. A lot of people don't talk about it that much. So hollow ground is the space between these two flags. We do not walk between them. We do not pass paperwork. We walk around the flags, and we come back around.
If for some reason you see somebody walk between the flags, please don't gasp at them. Oh my God, you broke a big rule. No, not really. That's only here in Florida. It's not anywhere else. So don't gasp at somebody. Because if you're out of the state and you gasp, you're going to embarrass yourself. And I don't want y'all to do that. Oh, clapping. Everybody was clapping just fine today. But I noticed when we were going around to all the different units, I noticed some of the auxiliary members were doing that cadence clap. That's only Legionnaires, Sons, and the ALR, the writers. We only just applaud. So I appreciate that. Any questions? No?
You said, Ginger, you said on hollow ground that's only Florida?
Yes, it's in Florida.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Hollow ground, so describe that more.
What should you say? It's the distance between the flags.
It just means, yeah. Yelling at Bridget.
What's Ginger's last name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Halsey, Halsey.
Thank you.
You're
Sorry,
welcome.
I did not introduce myself. I got right into this.
You did.
So the kids is only for the Legionnaires, right?
All right, next up, Sandy Cass,
And the
VA
writers?
Chairman. Does anybody know what VA stands for? I'm sure she's gonna get to this, but just,
Where is she? VA and R. Yeah, VA and R.
I'm Sandy Cass, I'm with Unit 88. Most everybody knows, I bring it up all the time, but you can volunteer at our VA clinics the way that we did for many years. What happened is, we got involved in it at all because one of our Legionnaires would go all the time to have blood work done. And he said, I have to take a bus. And I got to take a bus home. And I had to fast overnight, so why don't y'all set up a table with juice and coffee and do it on a certain time each month, and I'll arrange my appointments where I can be there that time. We did do that, but we started doing it, and we were joined by, I think it was 137. They would come and bring lunch. We would bring coffee, juice, and donuts and muffins. We did it for 7.5 years, every second Thursday. The only time we didn't do it in those 7.5 years was the 2 months that my husband was doing cancer therapy. We didn't do it then, but I had some Legionnaires come in and do it for us. Then COVID came along and we had to stop. They let us, then, after COVID was over, they let us do it outside. And we did it outside for a while and we finally got back in. Now we have to become an actual volunteer. I've got a copy of the application here, and I have others that you actually submit the application to the coordinator who is at the VA clinic in Lake City. She's coordinator for Jacksonville and Lake City. Fill it out, send it to her. They'll make an appointment at the VA clinic at Jefferson Street to be fingerprinted and do background checks. Once you are a volunteer, you can set up a day to come in and do anything. You don't have to do juice and coffee. You can go up there and provide sandwiches. You can go up and you can go to the farmer's market and get a bunch of fruit, give fruit away. You don't have to do what we did. They also are always begging for people to transport patients from their home to their appointments. And you can either use your vehicle or use their vehicle, and their vehicles are new SUVs. They usually are used to transport patients to the VA clinic in Lake City and Gainesville. All of these, once you become a volunteer, all of these things you can volunteer for. One of the main things that we do is always to try to assist a veteran and or a caregiver in any way we can. If you know in your unit that there's a veteran that needs to be transported somewhere for a doctor's appointment, get with him, and maybe you can work out this arrangement for them. I put some pictures here. It's from the out of our
department newsletter, I think it was 283 that had a stand down a couple years ago. If you've never done a stand down, you can find out information how to do it. But support, if you find out somebody's having one, support it by gathering up the toiletries and stuff that they have, that they want. In your packet over there, I have a copy of a little cover page, and a copy of your unit year-end report, which is everybody knows to do April 1st. During the year, keep a calendar somewhere and just jot down things that you do. You don't really realize how much you do, and maybe maybe you're driving somewhere. Put down the driving, the miles, and all right then. And that way, when you go to do your report, you just go back and this calendar. That's helped me a lot of years. Go back to the calendar and pick up all this information that you might have forgotten. One of the biggest parts of the VA&R program is Honor Flight. Everybody knows what a wonderful program that is. If you want, you can always get Candace, she can give you information, but you go apply online at firstcoasthonorflight.org. The one that's leaving September 21st, they're leaving at 5:15. They want you to be down there at 5:15, and then they're coming back at 6:20 that night. Please consider getting in your unit and get a few of y'all together. If you don't want to get it early in the morning, they're doing it at night. I was just handing some information about, we all know we have a lot of veteran suicides. There is a VA 2024 Unsheltered Veterans Surge in Northeast Florida. They coordinate research to unsheltered veterans, whether sleeping in encampments, parking lots, doorways. During the 3-day surge, unsheltered veterans in Clay, Duval, and Nassau counties will be offered the opportunity to be housed in the shelter on the same day they are encountered. There's an in-person attendance at Jesse Dell DuPont building. There's information of to text Joe 904-476-7861 about that. There's surge dates are October 18th in Clay and Nassau. October 25th is Duval County in non-downtown areas, and 11/1 in downtown Jacksonville. All of this information I just was handed, but it's not in your packet or anything, but I will get it in an email form, and I'll email it out to all of the district, all of the unit presidents, so that you know you can pass it on. When you go online and print out your engagement packet, there's in the back there, they mention awards. There's awards that can be gotten by your unit, and just go and try to just review them, pull up your plan, and unit presidents pull it up, so you know what to tell your chairman what to do, and have them go in there and read the whole thing right now. That way you won't be missing out on any opportunities like you go, oh, I didn't know I could do that, and here it is March. Go ahead and go and look at it now and see what all the things that you can do, even if you're small. We're very small, but we try to do one thing. Just pick, there's so many things that you can do. I could be up here for half an hour giving them all to you. Just find one. Just pick one and do it the whole year. You'd be surprised at how much you'll have when you do go to do your report. You can pull out all these calendars and you get with people and find out, okay, what did we do about this and when did we do that? Just gather all that up, and because all of these reports make a big difference in what Congress and they're going to pass for our veterans. So please look at the fact that whatever you do, no matter how small it is, report it and put it in there so you all can get credit. That's it. Anybody got any questions? Great.
Good job. The VA&R, I
think I know what it is, but I'm going brain dead here.
Veteran Affairs and Rehabilitation.
Affairs, okay. I was thinking assistance, but.
Okay. And I know you were gonna ask for that number again, so. Driver from Sandy at the end.
Yes, I'm gonna make copies of this. Anybody wants this reference just hand it to me. I'm gonna take copies, so I'm gonna hand it to you guys.
Okay. Thank
Sue?
you. Thank you very much.
President of our Blue Star Mothers went to the VABS meeting in Lake City yesterday, Friday. And she said that, they're not being forced to have the COVID shot now to do the, like, the going in with the table and doing the coffee and stuff. There are some other parts of it that you are gonna have the shot, but just to, cause I can't take it. So I wasn't able to volunteer handing out coffee and such, but they're taking that stipulation off, but you do have to have the flu shot.
So yes, there are guidelines, but if you're interested in volunteering, reach out to Sandy or that would be Linda, now what Harkness is the owner for Department this year. So you can reach out to them and get that information if you're interested in volunteering. So the last one is Constitution, ByLaws, and Standing Rules, and that chairman is Debbie Kinney. Unfortunately, she was not able to be here today. Still, please keep her and her family in your prayers. So that's unfortunately due to a family circumstance. She cannot be here today. But she did want me to share with you. She has a nice article written up that will be in the newsletter for September. So this information will be in that as well. And then coming back from National Convention, which is coming up in the next week and a half, there may be some changes coming down from National. But now is the time, she says, to go ahead and start looking at your Constitution, ByLaws, especially your standing rules, look things over. If things need to be updated, you can go ahead and change all of that. Just do it one shot. She said, please note that the information about poppy days and the new guidelines, which Judy has already touched on, the Girls State Program Standing Rule, Article 18, wording change, so this is all written down for you. Amendment to the standing rules for department, section 7, district president, increase from $20 to $30 to help cover operating costs. And Constitution, Article 8, Department Executive Committee, section 1, there's a wording change. So she just wanted me to touch base on that. But again, it will all be in the newsletter. You can also find it on ALAFL.org, programs, Constitution, ByLaws. So if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to Debbie. Again, if you are a chairman and you do not have your unit president has not shared that sheet with you for all the chairmen, come see me. I do have extras today, but also please reach out to your unit presidents. They have the unit president and secretary sheets for our district, as well as our chairman information. Please utilize the chairman. That's what they're here for, to help you. We are working the programs. And, you know, and we keep talking about reporting and how important reporting is. And I don't think it was mentioned today, so for those of you that are new, it starts with a member. It starts in the unit. From the unit, it gets reported to district. District takes it to department. Department takes it to national. National is where they present it to Congress and Senate. And then that is where our hours and what we do for our veterans, our community, our children and youth, that's how we get our funding. That's how we stay the American Legion, American Legion Auxiliary. So that is very important to document not only your hours, but your in-kind donations, everything that you do. So just keep track. We've got lots of good tips today. Are there any questions before we get ready to close? Okay.
What did you say that the Constitution, ByLaws lady's name was?
Debbie Kinney.
Debbie Kinney, okay.
Yeah, and that's on the sheet as well.
Where do you find these individuals that are making Constitution?
So, in the unit guide. So in the unit guide, which is also on ALAFL.org. Hold that for me. Thank you. There is our constitutions at the beginning. National also has Constitution, bylaws, and standing rules when you go to alafl.org, programs, and then, I can't remember which one it's under, but then there's Constitution, bylaws, and then it'll pull it up, and you can find District 5, click on District 5, and it has all of our units in our district. And you can click on the Constitution, bylaws, and you can click on standing rules. So you can see both of them for our whole district. So those are your governing documents. Each unit is slightly different. So what may be a standing rule for 233 may not be for 88. So follow your standing rules, your governing documents. Question?
Can you update your standing rules?
You can update your standing rules at any time. You just need to vote on it at your meeting. And then you can just send in those changes to the department. And if you don't change your Constitution, bylaws, it's only standing rules, you just send a little cover sheet stating only change number, standing rule number 5. Or we added number at the end. And just make sure those changes are sent in. Cindy?
Online, there's usually a template link, and we just take that template and pull it up and change it, our name, our address and all that. Does that have that?
I have to go and look.
We don't have that high school.
Well, if you're changing just an amendment to your standing rules.
I mean, we're gonna make these changes.
Oh, to your, yes, so, yeah, reach out to Debbie, and then our department Constitution bylaw chairman this year is Jane Hardinger.
So in the Constitution or the bylaws, does it give what the officer roles are and
It does.
how long if you miss any meetings?
I don't know if there's, I have to go back and look about the missing of the meetings, I think that's up to the unit, there's no rules up to, you can miss 2 meetings, you can miss whatever, and that's up to the unit on how, in their standing rules, they can state if an officer misses so many, if there's a disciplinary action for that. Okay. The other thing that I was told for Constitution bylaws, as you're updating your Constitution bylaws this year, make it fun. Take pictures. Take pictures of your unit members with the Constitution and bylaws and your standing rules. Send them to department, to Jane. She wants to see what you're doing and having fun doing it. So that was also told to me, so go ahead and share that.
On the Constitution and bylaws link at the bottom, it does have the sample that you were talking about. It does have that.
All you pull it up.
Yes.
And you go in and name it something, and go in and put all of your, change all your information. Now you've got a copy of what we're supposed to have.
Okay, so this one is not fillable. So it does have a sample of it, though. Yeah, I don't see it. You should be able to, yes.
I think if you save it though, then you can make changes.
Yeah, but it's not fillable.
Yeah, it's not fillable.
Yeah. So it is where it has the spacing where you enter whatever. Yes.
Where do you find the handbook?
Okay, so you can, alafl.org, you can find it, it's a soft copy online, or Workshop had them, I think they're gonna have copies at Fall Conference as well, I think they're $6.50. You can also go, alafl.org, on the very top, it says store, and if you click on the store link, I think you can order them from there as well.
You can.
So if you want a hard copy, which is nice to have,
There's a conference in November.
Charlotte's pin. So Charlotte will have these with her when she comes to visit us in October. You can ask her for one. And if you go to Fall Conference, she'll have them there too. So she will hand them out to you. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you for all you do, Julie.
Yes, thank
All right. Any other comments or remarks? Sue.
Julie, can I have just a second, please? For those of you who were not at 5th District meeting, Unit 283, along with the Blue Star Mothers, is holding a Gold Star Mothers and Family Brunch, September 22nd. I believe most of the units were handed out a flyer. What we're looking for, if anyone knows any Gold Star families, St. John's, Duval, Nassau, Clay, and Baker County. So if you know any Gold Star parent, child, sibling, please let us know so we can get them added to the survivor outreach so they can RSVP to the event. And siblings. Yes. So there's a lot of them that haven't gotten in with survivor outreach services or casualty assistance officer dropped the ball, and so they're not done. And we want to make sure that all those families receive it. That fallen family member receives the recognition that they should. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Aurora?
Yes, Kim. Thanks, my Julie. Check this out real quick. We all know that disasters happen 24/7. On behalf of myself and all the first responders that are currently down in harm's way, and thank this group, this district really stood up this last hurricane. Please remember, if you guys collect stuff, that it's got to get from point A to point B. There's still some water in the way, and in some areas, as first responders, we're not letting people into those areas. So please, Madam President, and everyone else, coordinate with who our point of contact down there is, because it's kind of hard to show. Yeah, so you need it. And I would have, you know, I'm going to give this woman her flowers. She's phenomenal, and she has done so much in such a short amount of time. I'm sitting in that building. I've been doing this for 45 years. Well, there's expiration 35 years, and I will give you your flowers. You are taking these disasters, and I love you for it. But it's got to get from point A to point B.
Correct. So yes, as we collect things, we have to wait for the approval from department, and we cannot bring stuff without that approval and that point of contact. And a lot of times it's coordinating with the Legion as well. So if your unit is willing to collect items, hold them until Kathy or department or myself have reached out to you to coordinate. Do not, oh, I know somebody that lives in Steinhatchee and I want to bring it to them. Please don't. Please don't. Roberta, question? Comment?
I didn't bring this up, but October 5th, please put that in your calendars. We're meeting at 1:37. We are having a membership drive. Everyone is welcome. Bring your roster with the phone number so we can all call them up. Woo-wee!
Yes, a big membership drive, and there may be a few surprises
There
up our sleeves.